go to Australia. I wanna fuck us some Iggy. Fuck us some Iggy.
I'm getting lit off the shisha. No, I don't fuck with no ciggies.
Fuck with those Iggies.
I'm getting turned when I'm gambling. I'm trying to run up a milli.
Run up a milli.
Look how I'm carrying kick. I might just tear my Achilles.
Tear my
No,
Achilles.
I'm a country, but I fuck with Bama. Yeah, I'm a G, but I stay with that hammer. 21 told me I'm good in Atlanta. Tricking on bitches, I'm Neon to Santa. PJ the mom, I come fuck with a G. Quartet with Bama is 10K a seat. When I go shopping, I don't need receipts. She wanna fuck with Mikhail Rafik. Oh, no, it stopped.
Your name is Mikhail?
Yeah, Mikhail. Wanna hang with an Indian, ayy, yeah. She wanna hang with an Indian. She wanna hang with an Indian, ayy, yeah. She wanna
Hang with an Indian. She wanna hang with an Indian. She wanna hang with an. Hold on.
She wanna hang with an Indian. 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 She wanna hang with an Indian.
I wanna go to Australia. I wanna fuck with some Iggy. Fuck with.
I wanna live off the shisha. No, I don't fuck with no ciggies. I'm getting turned when I'm gambling. I'm trying to run up a milli.
Run up a milli.
Look how I'm carrying kick. I might just tear my Achilles.
Tear my
No, I'm a
Achilles.
country, but I fuck with Bama. Yeah, I'm a G, but I stay with that hammer. 21 told me I'm good in Atlanta. Tricking on bitches, I'm Neon to Santa. PJ the mom, I come fuck with a G. Quartet with Bama is
10K a seat.
When I go shopping, I don't need receipts. She wanna fuck with Mikhail Rafik.
Fuck, man. God, dude. What's good, man? She wanna hang with an Indian. She wanna hang with an Indian. Yeah, she wanna hang with. Teach you off them hair pills. What's good? What's good? What's good, baby? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How y'all living, man? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the fucking stream, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How are you all living, man? All right. Wake your ass up. It's a beautiful Monday. I had a weekend. Dude, you got to stop with the what is our God doing, bro? Come on, G. None of this God stuff, man. You can just call me the GOAT. You can call me the GOAT. You can call me the truth. You can call me whatever you want. Welcome back to the stream, man. It's so good to see all beautiful faces. It's a beautiful Monday. Honestly, I just want to say something real quick while we still have the small. You're not Paul Pierce. I wanted to say something while we have the small group real quick. Sorry, I'm 30 minutes late. You know what I was doing, okay? You saw what I was doing. I was on another interview. I have never in my entire. I'm gonna say this. I have never in my entire life felt so happy to be back on my stream with our squad. I genuinely don't even have words to tell you how. Malcolm, if you're listening, by the way, can you turn the AC on? My bad, please. May you please turn the AC on? It's really fucking hot in here. I'm dying. I've actually never been so happy to see my face in this frame and to see you guys here. It's just like, fuck, man. It's a little, I don't know. It's tough. Like, I wanted to interview, didn't know who I was. And so it's a little bit, it's like, here's the thing though. It's like, it's always a tough interview when you got the Balaji's of the world, the Mark Andreessens of the world, the threadguys of the world. Like, when you have a lineup like that, Andreessen, Guy, Balaji, it's always going to have high stakes. And so sometimes when the pressure comes off a little bit, the Andreessens, the guys, the Balajis is always, she want to hang with an indie and she want to hang with an indie. Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about today. I'm getting called out on selling my hymns too early, but I made it very clear why I did sell. I don't even know what I'm saying. We have a lot to talk about. Let's just get into it. Guys, I could cry. I miss you guys so much. I really do. I miss you guys so much. Oh yeah, last stream was the asteroid is what happened, huh? If you're watching on, when did I do the interview? I did it on this MTS thing. It just launched. Everybody's doing new media now, I guess, is the new trend. Everyone's doing I don't know, what do you call it? Tech media, finance media. Everyone is doing finance media. We're just the pit. I'm not new tech media. We are just the pit. That's what we are. We're just the pit. So we're just a bunch of guys trying to fucking run up a bag on the internet. It's pretty simple, really, my thesis. I'm not really here to monitor any situations. I'm just here to help you guys. I'm really just trying to make 100 M's, and you guys are going to watch me make 100 M's, and then by proxy, if I make 100 M's, you're also going to make 100 M's, and that's just kind of how we rock. So we have a lot to talk about today. I have a sick guest, one of my best friends in the world. Okay, he's not my best friend, but he's my guy. Tom Kaiser is gonna come on and he's gonna talk about the hack of Aave, Kelp. I don't even know what it's called. Layer 0 situation. But I'm a little bit late. I'm gonna tell him. Let me actually tell him I'm gonna be a little bit late. I'm gonna be like 20 late. That cool. So he's gonna come on and we're gonna talk to him about the whole situation, what happened. But before we get there, we have a lot to cover. I have some more updates, which is just so ridiculous. I have some market stuff, and I have worked on. I have a new market thesis, by the way. I'm like so excited right now. I feel happy about my life. I have a new market thesis. We're gonna talk about IPOs. There's like a bunch of IPOs that are happening. There's a psychedelics hype that's happening right now. There's a mega church trade. I missed it because markets are fucking closed on the weekend. There's a lot of on-chain stuff happening. Specifically, yes, I was wrong about Asteroid, but I was right about Rave DAO. So pick your poison. And then there's some pretty scary stuff that is happening with AI hacking right now. It just is. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty scary what's going on right now with the hacking stuff. And so I'm going to cover a lot of that. And then obviously we have market close. We have a lot to get into. We have a lot to cover. Stacks, you say I'm still your god. Like, did I make you a bunch of money? What happened exactly? She want to hang on it. By the way, you might get a song out of me before too long. I'm going to be completely honest. You bought into AI 2027? Of course, brother. Of course I am. Ride time strategy, save that. Of course I'm bought into it, and it's fucking playing out. I made you money on hymns. Got it. All right. Look, we have a lot to cover. We have a lot to talk. Honestly, I could cry. You don't understand how happy I feel to come back to this stream. No, he's talking about AI 2027, brother. He's talking about AI 2027. I'm almost positive. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about AI 2027. Dina, what's good? Recto, what's good? Mac, what's good? Coke Capital, what's good? Jackson, what's good? Caleb, Gorilla, what's good? Rockefeller, Alex, Viblet, what's good? Brady, Kevin, Recto, what's good? Starting, what's good? Art Mommy, what's good? Gerlin, what's good? Cats, what's good? Any first-time chatters? Rex, what's good? Leonel, what's good? I'm not a bull, what's good? Logic, what's good? DeFi, what's good? Pudgy, Citrine Analyst number 3. Joey, hey, shitpost, what's up, baby? Tom Brady, Kevin, Charlie, love you too, brother. She want to hang with an Indian. She want to hang with an Indian. Yeah. I might just go to Australia. I'm trying to fuck on Iggy. Fuck on some Iggy. Cat, what's good? Tingle, what's good? Don't clip that. Please don't click that. Alex, what's good? 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 All right. We have a lot to cover today. I'm going to skip the weekend stories. I'm going to skip the stories from this weekend. It was crazy. I got to stop doing I started watching Game of Thrones this weekend. I did that. I started watching Game of Thrones. I played a couple games of chess. I bought some clothes. I bought these really cool 3/4 suit shorts that are really fun. I have a story. I have dude, you know what I found out this weekend? I'll tell you a quick story real quick, and then I'll move on. I am watching the playoffs. I'm a Cavs fan right now, by the way. If you were wondering, I'm a Cavs fan. Diehard Cavs fan. Don't ask me why. Just know that I am. Okay, it was like 4 a.m. I watched the Neiman documentary. How was it? How was it? How was it? Tell me how it was. It was like 4 a.m. on Saturday, I guess Sunday morning. And I was having like a really deep talk with some homies. And we were really like letting it fly. We were like really letting it go. Like I was really letting shit fly. And I had this just takeaway that like, damn, all the fun stories you guys I just can't tell you. I can maybe like type them in the pit, but I can't put them on video recording on stream. I have like a Friday night story. It's going to get me banned from Twitch. It's going to get me banned from Twitch. Like, yeah, you guys just like don't get the best. It's really unfortunate, you know? Maybe, you know what we'll do? Maybe one day, this is what we'll probably do. What we'll probably do is when we do our event in the next like month, we're doing a couple things first, some like rebranding and shit. But when we do the event in a month, maybe I'll get on the mic and I'll just start telling stories. Like we're going to collect everybody's phones and I'm just going to start telling like New York stories. Cause it's like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, damn, you guys think I'm entertaining and you don't even get the good stories. Like there was a really good one for Friday. Like it was aggro. I was aggro. It was like, I've had a good one basically every week and I can't share it or else it's GG's. If I share it, I will be banned or fired. Yeah. Like Malcolm, it's like, I could tell you Friday's story, but Malcolm would look bad. And that's my CEO. I did see Jack Harlow the other day. I saw Jack Harlow in the street. It was really cool. I saw Jack Harlow in the street the other day. Okay, look, I can't tell you the story, but all I can say is that we had a situation where this kid was like trying to fuck with me. I'm not gonna tell you the story, but I'm gonna tell you like a high level. I was gonna tell you why I have great friends. Then we're gonna start the stream. Market close. I know. Just give me a break. I just got off a long stream. Just give me a break. This is what I'll tell you real quick, and I'll get off. All I know is that we had a little situation in the club, and some guy was trying to press me, and he went to like put a finger on my chest, and before this brother could even put a finger on my chest, 5 people like on the ground and drinks fly. He couldn't even get a finger, bro, on my chest. It was crazy. It was insane. It was like all angles. Hit here, no punching, but like tackle here, rolling on the ground here, other people getting involved. It was crazy. I can't tell you the actual story, but all I know is that you fuck with the pit, you got protection. Okay? You fuck with the pit, you got protection. It was some real like love shit. It was some real love, and it was clean. Also, yeah, Mac is really like that. That's my CEO. It's like I'm like, look, I'm not saying I'm Drake May, but you remember that Will Campbell clip when he's at LSU and he's like, look, you get 1 sack a game, you're going top 10. You give up 1 sack a game, you're gonna be working at Amazon. Okay, we got left tackles everywhere. Everywhere we look, we got left tackles. Okay, I just want to say that. Shout out to my fucking CEO. Anyways, we got some real stuff to talk about. Welcome back. How was everybody's weekend? I actually do care. Usually I ask and I don't care, but I do care this time. I am very curious how your weekend was. A lot happened to me this weekend. It was very fun. Friday night, rip. Saturday night, I got to stop doing it. I do care this time. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in the markets. Hims is up and I'm getting clowned. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to cover. I don't know. Playoffs are on. Like I've been trying to ramble too much today, but there was DeFi hacks. There was ceasefire happening again. There was an on-chain coin. You know what's funny? On-chain coin goes 150 mil for the first time in forever, and then crypto they just end crypto. It's unbelievable the way that it happens, but it is what it is, and that's where we're at. So, okay, I want to read you a tweet real quick to start the stream. I caught my child using AI. I just caught my 9-year-old using Google AI. She had only been using it on and off for about a week. She talked to it about how to get along better with her little sisters, how to improve her swimming times after a swim meet. And then she used it to help her write fan fiction plot lines for her favorite book series. I had a long conversation with her about it, and she's devastated. She didn't know it had environmental impacts, and she now fully understands how bad it is. She's not in trouble, but she's aware we are not to use that again because we don't want to lose her creativity. Okay, look, I'm pretty positive this is fake. I think it's fake. But what I am going to say, and it's something that we should note as traders, especially of daily trends, not daily trends, but of hot narratives, okay, is that sycophantic. Thank you. What we should understand is that I always wondered, like when my dad would tell me that growing up we didn't have the internet and I had to like go to a library to read a book, I'd be like, what? Like you didn't have the internet? Blah, blah, blah. I always wondered like what my version of that would be for my kids. If I, one day when I'm blessed enough to have children, find a wife. By the way, I'm working on this really hard. This wife thing is hard, man. Where do you find a wife in New York City? I really, God, I'll skip this part, but it's just like, all right, I always wondered what it would be for my kids. Okay, I always wondered what it would be, and it's obviously using Google. It's obviously using Google. No one is ever going to use a search engine for anything ever. Okay, no one is ever. Venture coin is, bro. What are you talking about? New York City's peak talent. I don't need talent though. I need wives. What you're talking about is different from what I'm talking about. I know you know talent, but I'm looking for some talent. I'm looking for like a great value late first round pick. I'm looking for Jokic at 28. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to draft AJ DeBonza. I'm looking for talent late first round is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Jokic pick 28. But the take on this is that Google and a search engine is something that the next generation will never use ever. They're just going to use GPT for everything. They're going to use LLMs to answer everything. I mean, I already do already. I very rarely Google. And when I do Google, by the way, an underrated thing that they've added feature is like the AI auto search. It's incredible. You just read the primer at the beginning. It's unreal how good it is. You don't actually. I'm not clicking on links. I'm just reading the answer it gives me. It's just optimizing Gemini into some announcement. It's unreal. And so we've talked about this before. I'm not gonna rant about it right now, but this idea of hallucination yield, which is like figuring out what the AI is gonna tell everybody to do and getting in front of that, is probably very profitable. You know what I mean? Like figuring out when you say, I have $1,000 I want to invest, these people aren't going to like Dave Ramsey videos. They're not going to Graham Stephan videos anymore. They're just going to search it on GPT. They're going to type it into GPT. And so if GPT, you don't have to think about this, right? It's like if GPT decides that it hates Bitcoin, Bitcoin's probably in trouble a little bit, right? If GPT decides that it loves XRP, XRP is probably going to catch flows. We've talked about it before, but being written into the training data of these models is very important. I think it probably doesn't matter so much right now, but think about it. Like, think about this, okay? So one of the things I've gotten so obsessed with trading these like mega church style trades. The only trades I made money on recently, the biggest trades have been oil, mega church, even though it's deeper than that, oil, Tau, and hymns. And so anything that can contribute to more momentum and flows on the super short term. Imagine when RFK makes the announcement and says that we're going to, rush a bunch of these peptides through the FDA. Everyone's going to do what I did. And they're going to run a Claude and they're going to do this. Watch. This is what's going to happen. Look. They're going to run to Claude and they're going to say, RFK just made this announcement that he is going to force legalization of a lot of peptides. I don't have the tweet, but what is the best way to long this? What stock do I buy? Everyone's going to do this, right? Obviously, everybody's going to do this. And so if I like Eli Lilly better, but this says hymns for everybody, GPT says hymns. If everything says hymns, unclear how much capital is going to flow through that, but it's going to be it's going to be substantial, I would imagine, right? I mean, remember we were doing this? We're looking at, what's his name? Professor Jang. Said on, yeah. The actual publicly traded long candidates ranked by how defensible the thesis is. HIMS, LFMD, WBA, right? What was it? LFMD. Look how much this is up. Daily. Announcement was last Wednesday. This is a better It's a better trade than HIMS. But this one too, look. This is up from that announcement, this is up 34%. And HIMS is up somewhere in here, like 37%. Right? And so what this says, I think, is a relatively interesting way to think. Like, it's like, okay, if we're really going to go autist on this trading thesis, which I found myself doing recently, is getting autistic about this, very much so, is the hallucination yield thing is so interesting. What's good, Flood? Everyone's going to just do that, I think. For a lot of these retail trends, everyone's going to do that, and it's very reflexive. It just adds to the momentum and the sauce, and then GPT's searching. It's probably indexing at some level trading view, what's buying, what's getting flows, what's up on the day, using that to reinforce back to the AI, and it's just like hyper reinforcing this thing into a fucking pop. And so, I don't know, something interesting, something that I think worth thinking about for you in the future, but it is what it is. Anyways, that is what that is. Also, real quick, somebody said, TJ, are you using your OpenClaw? No, dude, no. And I feel like a part of me, I was going to rant about this. I was going to forget to rant about this. But I am not using my OpenClaw because they nuked it. And I haven't switched it to Codex or any of the OAI models. And I feel like genuinely, I'm going to be so for real. I feel like a part of me is missing. from this thing. I used to talk about it all day, every day, and I haven't talked to it recently. And I'm also now scared of this. We'll talk about this in a little bit as well, but this day that's gonna come eventually when all these LLMs get hacked, and every convo you've ever had with the AI gets like released into the world. That's like a pretty scary day when that happens, if that happens. And so now I'm like scared. I used to ask it like how do I respond to this text? Like, how do I flirt with this girl? And now I'm like, fuck, I probably shouldn't do that. You know? I'm like, I probably shouldn't be doing that. And so I need like a local model to run, and we'll see if I get there. But I haven't been using my OpenClaw, and it's pretty sad. It is really, really, really pretty sad. So I think that's all I have on the intro. Let's fucking do market close in a second here. Also, yeah, let's watch this real quick. This launched today. Let me give you a media take real quick. I know you don't care, but I care. Real quick, then we'll do market close. It's gonna happen, brother.
Life has become
Holy loud.
more complex in the overwhelming sea of information. The advent of
Oh, by the way, I bought like a 18-inch, 16-inch chain now. Tall for gay. I'm trying to think. This is either local top or I get a lot pretty from here. I'm not sure what y'all think, but it's like pearls but silver.
computers and the subsequent accumulation of incalculable data.
Every single person says gay, really? The fuck y'all know about style? Bro, every person said gay? If you like it, it's cool. I also took me this DJ loves being choked. I also bought this bracelet. John Hardy, by the way, black diamonds, but I can't take it off. I don't know how to take it off. It's like stuck on my fucking wrist. So, bought them together.
Has given rise to a new system of memory and thought parallel to your
Retard Megapore jewelry.
own.
To monitor the situation means to watch history in the making.
5, 10, 15, 20 years away.
I think it's now. I think it's internal.
Forever jewelry is hot on men. Are you like a baddie? Like what do you mean hot on men?
But don't play games.
11,
Don't play games with this president. So.
9,
It's a scary idea, but I mean, that's the world we live in.
5, 4, 3,
Are you really a foodie? Like actually or no?
1. All engine running.
All right. Anyways, this thing launched today. There's just like a massive. Okay, I have a take real quick. It's this thing that launched today. It's called. I went on the show. If you watched it, I don't know if anybody saw me go on it, but I did go on it. It's called Monitor the Situation Live. And I do wear ankle bracelets during the summer. I wear them. It's called Monitor the Situation Live, and it's like a A16Z funded sort of worst interview of all time. Why? It was painful to watch. Really? I was that bad? Me or no? Not okay. I'm just curious. So basically, before I move to market close, I'm gonna give a media take real quick. Is everyone's takeaway, I think, from the TBPN acquisition is that we need more. By the way, congrats to them on the launch. I think it's sick. I'm a fan of some people that work on the team. Congrats on the launch. I think everyone's takeaway somehow from TBPN was that we need more news arbiters, news curators of what's happening on Twitter. And I actually think that we need less of that. TBPN worked because they were super knowledgeable on tech, and the hosts are hot, straight up. Super knowledgeable on tech, have real ball knowledge, and they just like look really good. Like they just have the look. I don't know what to tell you. And I think that there's going to be this massive push for VC-backed media outlets to do similar TBPN-esque media. And so like a lot of people ping me about it. And I think that the reason that I like what we do here, and I was so relieved to come back to the pit, is that we're not this funded cohort, and we're not like, I do curate info on stream. I read tweets all day, obviously. But I think because like I'm a guy and we have our own opinions, some of them being very strong, and we're super niche. Like you can't like, okay, I was having a conversation with someone about this. Like to be the face of finance is like, what does that even mean? It's so big, you can't theoretically do it. But to be hyper focused on retail trading and memetics and momentum and like how to trade retail markets, how to trade perps, like some of these like super niche topics that we focus on and go really deep on, curated behind 150 people on a live stream that are like really dedicated to it. I think is it's like the opposite of the AI algorithm, right? The opposite of viral is what we want to do. That's why I like the pit so much. That's why I post on the pit more than I post on Twitter. And so I think what we've curated here is pretty special, and you guys are lit. And there's going to be a lot of people optimizing for viral, but I would argue we optimize for niche, which is really cool. We optimize for niche in the pit, which I think is very, 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 very cool. And I think it's going to work in this era. So they launched today. I did go on it, and it was fun. I mean, it has 120 clicks. They're not live viewers, but 120 clicks, which is insane. So congrats to them. Pretty happy they invited me on, to be completely honest. Sick invite. And yeah, that's what I got. So anyways, let's get it. Let's go. We got to 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 go. We got money to make. There's trades moving. And oh, by the way, no, it's not live viewers, brother. Also, I showed Hyperliquid really hard. I wonder how did I do? And if you listen, how did I do? I felt like I showed our niche pretty good. I felt like he didn't really know who I was, and so I just said, okay, can I talk to you about hymns and megachurch? I said, you ever heard of megachurch? He said, no, what's that? I said, have you heard of Loot and Rob? He said, no, what's that? I said, okay. Have you heard about trading memetics? He said, no, what does that mean? I said, and I locked in. I said megachurch 4 times, which is not easy to do. But when you're talking to me, it's like, yeah, I can recite my points pretty one-to-one. So let's get it. Let me tell Tom that I'm going to be late. Okay, he's good. All right. Market close just happened. It was a very interesting one because we are very much still... Now, we need a megachurch counter on the stream overlay. We are very much still at war, okay? We actually, if anything, had an escalation over the weekend. Before I look at market close... What are you in? What are you long? What are you short? Where are you cash? What are your biggest trades? What do you like right now? What do you hate right now? What have you made money on? What have you lost money on? Where are you? Where are we? Where are we as a cohort? Show me your trade. IBIT calls. Nice. What do you got? 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 Bought ASTS. Nice. The best oil out of me. The beat oil out of me. Threadguy. Sive. Long Bitcoin 80K. VVV. Long Dogecoin. Y. ETH long. Shorted Sol. Nice. Cash. Nice. MSTR holding. Sideline and everything. What happened to your Cantons? You make money or lose money? Shorted 1 share of car. Is that Carvana? What is that? Shorted BTC since 7777, which I called in the pit. All in BTC. All MSTR. What NBA team are you rooting for these playoffs? The Cavs. Don't ask me why. Hit the longs and futures today. Nice. Bought BTC short the NASDAQ. Interesting. I'm not a bull. I made money. Nice. Galaxy. Yes, I'm a Cavs fan. Don't ask me why. Long Oracle, Hims and Rocket Lab. Market crash tomorrow. You probably not. Got stop loss. I'm sorry to hear that. Bought more XPL. I'm very sorry to hear that. Long Chill House. I am incredibly sorry. Doge looks pumpy. You guys need help. Cars, the AVIS short squeeze. Holding for like the meme coin. Is anybody in Hims right now before I show the screen? Hims. Is anyone in Hims? Full ported asteroid at 137. Jesus, man. Why? Like, really full ported? Why does Rhino hate Zcash? That's a good question. I'm long on threadguy, and I'm long. I'm not in her. I'm in her, not in Hims. This is not the same thing. No and no. Nobody holds Hims. Got it. Everybody just sold on my sell. Cash. Do I really have motion like that? Certainly not. Got carried out this weekend. Like, literally or figuratively. Big bag and asteroid. Anyone else do you want me to read before I show you? About a short ETH because all the smart people are doing it. I close it. Denim shirt's crazy. I know. It's tough. It's Levi's. Very rare. Activist investor for Hims. I told you why I sold. I made a joke about it. I don't really want to say it out loud, though, because it'll get clipped. And then it's going to be uncomfortable if a girl I'm looking to hang out with sees the clip of me talking about not being able to get hard on finasteride. Probably save that one. Made 30% on oil this Sunday. That's insane. Anyone else should to read real quick before we show it? L penis. Yeah. All right. Here's market close. Let's go. Just unreal. I mean, honestly, guys, I don't know about you. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun in this market because I feel like we could just be comfy. I don't really have a directional bias whatsoever on how things are going to play out. I feel like I'm late to the AI trade, and I don't have much of a directional bias on what is going to happen and how it's going to happen. So instead, I'm just sitting in cash and just like binking little spots. I'm binking little spots, and it's been fun. I'm kind of waiting for my next spot, if I'm being so for real. We got a major escalation this weekend, and 3 minutes before market open, JD Vance is like, I'm in Pakistan for negotiations. Then market opens, and they're like, I actually haven't left yet to Pakistan. But the market didn't care because SPX closes down 0.24%, SPY down 0.2%, Q's down 0.3%, IGV crazy is up, software ETF up 1.3%, and the Dow flat, almost back at 50K level, which is crazy. NASDAQ down about 0.5%. Also, by the way, we had Hans Niemann on Friday, our best performing guest of all time, believe it or not, in clips. He did like 5 million views on clips. TikTok viral. I'm going viral on TikTok now, fellas. We're going viral on TikTok. It was crazy. I hope we can bring him back. I loved him. Shout out to Hans Niemann. That's how we close here. Crypto, which had been grinding chest because of the stream. I'm gonna maybe do. I'm lying. I'm not doing that fucking shit. Sorry. Never mind. Glad you're grinding though. VIX up 8% today. Crypto's in a very interesting spot. We had major DeFi exploits, which I'm gonna have one of my favorite guests of all time to come on and talk about in about 45 minutes. You hit my TikTok FYP. You better have liked and watched the full video. Zcash, which was struggling, is up today, up 5%, 317, not bad. Bitcoin somehow looks really fucking good. I don't really know how, but it does. 76.2, ETH 2330, despite every person on the planet Earth shorting. Sol 85. Sol looks horrific in my opinion. Hyperliquid 41. It lost a lot, but you know, it is what it is. I think one of the most interesting longs right now, or I don't know, charts is Monero. To me, looks very good. You tell me what you think, but this looks very good to me. Monero's, look at the weekly on this thing. It just looks very good. How did you end up on MTS? They just asked me to come on. Look at this chart. I mean, this is a wild, wild, wild chart for Monero. We'll get to Monad at the end. You know how we do it. BTCD is up as well, which is interesting. It makes me very scared to long any alts. I'm not interested in alts really right now. BTCD up. Stretch under 100, so we have nothing there. And then gold, 48, pretty flat. Silver, $80. Okay, moving on. Energy names, we are up across the board. Oil up. Brent up. Exxon up, Chevron down a little bit, but looks relatively good. Did you hop back into oil over the weekend? I told you I was done, man. It's like, you know, when you have an ex-girlfriend and you all are breaking up and redating and hooking up every day, like every week for like a year, but then finally you have that final like, ugh, just get the ick. I got the ick. And so I was hooking up with my ex every week and I was down and she was down and it was like fun. And we both be like, we're done. You tell your friends, we're done. Then you like awkwardly make eye contact with your boy when you walk out of the club with her, going back to your house. And then you laugh. It's like big joke. Everyone's in on it. Her friends are in on it. Everyone's in on it. But then finally you just like have a blow off the top and you like really get the ick and you're just done. You're done. You never hook up with her again. I got the ick. If I'm being honest, I got the ick. And I'm done with the oil. I crushed the Tau trade. Congrats. You crushed it because of the stream, you think, or no? Where's the next trade? Well, it was Hims. But we'll find another one. We always will. Defense, Palantir looks kind of here, honestly. Chemicals, fertilizers are all green. Big tech that we care about, Salesforce green, Adobe green. Apple looks really pretty. Nvidia is pretty flat. SanDisk still looks pretty. Amazon down a little bit. Where's Tesla down 2%? It's not a good looking chart, man. I'm sorry. I give the stream 50% credit. Congratulations. Send me 50% profit if you don't mind. Just doesn't look great. Netflix, they really, really, really hated the earnings. Not great. Meta down 2.5. Intel down 4, but this thing's a monster. And then fun names. Hims, biggest gainer again, up 7%. Is beautiful. Threadguy. Have you ever seen that video on how they generate the original contract for Zcash? They went to a hot and put their phones in a microwave. What are you saying? Him's up 7%, $31. I'm a seller at $29.50. And every dollar this thing goes up, I lose a lot of money in unrealized gains, but it is what it is. XYZ's been trading very well, by the way. Jack Dorsey stock is up since that first gap up close, even though it was up a lot and then dumped a lot, it's up another, like, I don't know, 15%. This has been a nice one. DoorDash looks nice. Coinbase up 3%. Crypto, like all things considered, crypto stocks look pretty good. Nothing else. Nike's up 1%. Hood had a good day, but I kind of lost some gains. And Snap is terrible. Thank God we didn't long this dog shit, even though there's a bunch of money to be made. We'll look at psychedelics to the end. Oil's up across the board. Let's go hyperliquid for this one. I forgot what it's called. It's been so long. Jeez. WTI 86. I mean, it was pretty low though. Got to 78. DNAP announcement. Apple names John. Whoa. New Apple CEO. Oh my God, is it ripping? No, it's dumping. Is that a short? Wow, Tim Cook out of Apple. Man, we could do a Tim Cook session. We could look back on the Tim Cook era. Tim Cook has done an incredible job, in my opinion. All things considered. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Tim Cook, most underrated CEO of all time. I'm not going to lie. Wait. He was at Coachella this weekend. OG top gay for sure. Wow. Who's John Tenrus? Who is this? No, I don't want fucking AI mode. John Tenrus, American engineer, business executive who served as Apple's senior vice president, hardware engineer since 2021. In 2020, he's also put in charge of iPhone hardware. Interesting. Wait, when? Let's go like this. What is John Tenrus' biggest life accomplishment in business? What was the Tim Cook? What year? He joined in 2011. Apple products shipped since. Dude, I would argue he did a fucking incredible job. He invented the AirPod. And wait, let's go like this. He doesn't have one. Lifelong Apple employee. Leading Mac transition from Intel to Apple Silicon. Got it. M chips. That's huge. Let's do like list every new Apple product shipped since Tim Cook stepped in 2011. They've been hinting at this for ages. I don't really know about the market. Doesn't seem to like it too much, but not that bad. I mean, couple dollar drop. It's not that significant, really. I think Tim Cook goes down to one of the most underrated CEOs ever. Underrated, underappreciated, everything in between, really. Tim Cook is a supply chain guy. I just want to see this. AirPod, the M chip, Max. China Tim, ball knower. Wait, I'm going to tweet something real quick. I hope history reflects on Tim Cook as one of the most underrated CEOs. Actually, let's gauge it. History. History will reflect, and Tim Cook is one of the most underrated CEOs ever. Well, let's see. Okay, iPad Mini and iPad Pro, Apple Watch, AirPods, AirPod Pro, M series chips, and the AirTag. Apple Vision Pro was a huge miss, and iPhone Air is like whatever. Apple Pencil, nobody cares. Magic Keyboard, nobody cares. MagSafe for iPhone. What does that even mean? What the fuck is this? Didn't know what. I'd never heard of this. Apple Music hit. Apple News, nobody cares. Apple Arcade, nobody cares. Apple TV is pretty good. Apple Card and Apple Pay, huge. Apple Fitness, nobody cares. Apple One bundle. Apple Pay changed the world, right? Who doesn't? I mean, Apple Pay is like the greatest invention of all time. He's the Tony Romo of tech. That's actually a really good comp. Is Apple Pay the most important financial invention like of all time? That's I never heard that poll before. It's like the best financial invention ever. Apple Pay. Tap to pay is nuts. The iPhone is. I mean, yeah, but it's been out. Interesting. I think I was almost done. I didn't go through bro, just a credit card. I know, but it's like the smoothest. I don't carry a wallet. Yeah, and everybody has it. Altcoins before I move on. Pengu's the biggest gainer today. Yeah. Looks like we have a little rounded bottom here. Did you see Amazon news? No. Fuck. Because there's like a lot happening right now. Whoa. 25 billion in Anthropic. Wow. Whoa. Jesus. That is a big move on Amazon. Look at this. 3% move on a fucking $1 trillion stock. That's crazy. Amazon to invest 25 billion into Anthropic. I mean, this is impressive. Maybe we just gas the AI trade nonstop. I mean, look, at the very least, there's things to buy. That's some move. Chris is coming right now. Yeah, Chris is probably tweeting right now. Let's see. What's the Anthropic thing on Hyperliquid Perps? Wait, there it is. Damn, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to find it on here. Apple. Yeah, it's kind of flat. HIP3 though. Why can't I find it? Okay, here. Wait, pre-launch. Here. Whoa, brother. That's a decent amount of OI, like 5.6 mil. Look at this shit. I mean, you could have like traded this. We could have traded this, honestly. This was tradable. This was actually tradable. This is wild. What about OpenAI? Why did we long it? It's weird. I mean, it had the 600K volume. This isn't really like my game. I'm not super up on this, to be honest. OpenAI still tradable. It's just like a weird market. Like I would feel pretty pissed if I lost money on this. OpenAI looks good too. That XMR call is a good one, longing it. I don't hate it as far as crypto goes. It's a decent one. Check XDMs for 5,000 bits. That wouldn't even get you a like. 5,000 bits wouldn't even get you a like. It's like, nah. Let me check after stream. I'll do it for you. Shout out to Smiley. That's crazy. We didn't even get to finish altcoins. Let's go. Pengu Monad, I think, is the best looking alt. I just like nothing on this list is interesting to trade. This is the problem with alts like grass. Donated 500 subs. He won't check DMs. I got you after stream, brother. Farcoin, like who cares? VV is tradable and good. I actually am into the VV thesis. Everything else though, Zcash, you know I like. Arrow, Arbitrum, Pepe, Pump. It's just like DeFi is just Aave, like damn. Somehow green today, but barely. Tau is horrid. Sweet. It's just like these things are just. It's almost like I need to delete my list. Really. Monero is the most attractive. Jupiter, they all look terrible. What was your last non-mega church trade? Probably Pomp in 25. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking becoming unk. And let's do a quick check on Asteroid. I gotta tell Tom I'm gonna be really late. Let me text him and just say 30 minutes late. I'm somehow down on Amazon. I gotta delete my whole list. Asteroid is. I'll be honest. I don't really get this. How this is possible. That this thing wants to go higher. I'm not sure that I get this. Why skip Galaxy? My bad. That actually probably looks the best of everything here. Looks decent. The next big theme in crypto. I'll read you a tweet. You want a tweet on crypto? There's two things. There's two themes, and that's it. There's two themes. One is this. At this point, I think crypto exchange's area of growth of all markets is a remarkable mouth-watering opportunity. My thesis is evolving from the purification of the world to just the everything exchange, with leverage available, of course, but funding rates are so bad, spot will be required. I think this is just like worth more than we're giving credit for. I just do. Number one. And then the second is this. These are two narratives. They're boring. Sorry, they're boring. They're just boring. I don't know what to tell you. They're just boring. And then maybe you sprinkle in some on-chain activity here and there. But I think for the inevitable future, we're going to be trading stock megachurch headlines, I think. On-chain is just in trouble. The reason I don't get Asteroid is because it's just like, okay, it's hard for me to get, people are going to get mad at me because, but I feel the same way I felt at 20 mil or whatever, is it's nothing different than we've already seen. And so it's hard to get out of bed. Like, I don't understand who's top blasting this at 150 mil. Like, why? It may go up, but it doesn't seem like a smart financial trade. It's nothing different. Like, at least if it was like Maltbook, I'm like, all right, fine. I get it. If you're buying Maltbook at 150, I get it. Like, at least it has a chance to be something special. But you can't tell me like sex is. Come on. It's just like, there's no such thing as a $1 billion meme anymore. Like, there may be meme coins that go to $1 billion, but I don't think this is, I don't know, like people, you refute me on this if you would like, and I'm down to have a discussion about it. I'm not hating on your backs. I'm just telling you from a new game intellectual standpoint, there's nothing new about this. You could say it's on mainnet, but like, you see what I'm saying? It's nothing fundamentally different. And so it doesn't feel to me like we have a new game to play and these things are going to rip. Now, you might make a lot of money on it, and I hope you make a lot of money on it. And I'm obviously rooting for on-chain. But on-chain can't just do what it's been doing and win. There could be spots, but on-chain can't just do what it's done and win again. I don't believe that to be true. And so therefore there's really no price at which I am a top blaster of Pepe was new in meme coins. Meme coins were not like a thing. Like, you had Doge, but there had not been a new genre of meme coins. And so you get Pepe and then you get Pump Fun. And you also get mass rage of people being done with VC slop coins. And so you got the era of nihilism that led to this pouring in of capital on meme coins at the same time that you have market ripping, rate cuts, stocks at all-time high. And so then meme coins go crazy. But in this environment, it's tough to justify, I would argue. That's just my take. But I hope Asteroid wins. Does anyone I mean, if you made money in this, it's a sick spot. Like, I think you're just taking the wrong angle. Both cases. No, I just can't get excited about mascots in 2026. You know, sorry. There's no scenario for me to do that. Now, I'm not flooding your bags. I'm not going to be able to control the price. I'm not going to make it go up or down, and I'm rooting for you. But Elon in endless interactions. But okay, do you want to comp? Like, remember Gork? I had many six figures in this coin at one point. Elon was tweeting at this thing all day, every day for months. Made it his PFP. It's just nothing new is the ultimate problem that I have. Gork is a meme. Yeah, but what's a meme versus a mascot? It's the same thing. They're all the same thing. There's no difference. Mascot, meme, it's the same thing. So I'm not interested to top blast it, but I hope that you make money on it. Really, I really truly do. And I will say that I'm genuine. At a convo, I got like a fight about this on Saturday night that I was genuinely impressed. An on-chain coin could get to this high right now. I was genuinely impressed. What did you do to not take? So why did you not take profits on Gork? The problem with Gork is it happened too fast. You got every catalyst, bang, 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 all at the same time. Elon hard stamp, Elon bio, Elon PFP, all at once, permatop, which is actually something that I'm going to talk about with my markets thesis I have right now I'm working on. What was the fight? The fight was I was arguing on-chain could come back, and you were saying, no, it can't. That was the fight, actually. I was actually pro on-chain, but not with the same stuff. Like, we need something new. Yeah, not in its current form. I agree. That's why I just wasn't that interested in the thing, but whatever. It is what it is. It happened too fast. This is how markets trade right now. I want to do a whole rant on this because I feel that I have gotten a lot better as a trader recently because I'm starting to understand the way the market's trading, where you instantly price in everything all at once. It's almost like the peptide HIMS announcement is kind of like the Ansem show for a token, where you get to best case scenario price discovery instantly. And then for the long term to play out, you need time. And if you're not willing to sit through the time, you are going to be in a tough spot. Let me get to that in a little bit. I want to cover a couple things first. So that's update on the market. Now, here is war updates. War updates. We're still at it, first and foremost. We are still at war, my friends. And the market doesn't seem to care, which is fascinating, to say the least. Let me ask you guys this. How closely are you following war and its implications on your trades relative to what you were following it like 3 weeks ago? Because it is seeming like the market just doesn't care. It's crazy. It's pretty wild. You're following it way more, yeah. I mean, I am because we have to, but it is now becoming. I still get Hebrew and Arabic noise. For context, I turned off. What's it called? Squawk box notice. I just had to. It was fucking driving me nuts. All right, here's where we're at. So this weekend there was a pretty severe escalation, I would argue. One, ceasefire is not happening, which we all thought that it was. Of course, you find out right when the markets close. And then two is, so Iran decided to fire bullets yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz, a total violation of our ceasefire agreement. Many of them were aimed at a French ship and a freighter from the United Kingdom. That was nice, wasn't it? Our representatives are going to Pakistan. Hold on. I feel like it's important. Bro said, "Are you okay?" Oh, my
Islamabad,
headphones are off. Hold on. Hold on.
Islamabad,
Islamabad.
Islamabad,
Just read it, bro. Islamabad.
Islamabad,
Got it. Thank you. To Islamabad, Pakistan. They'll be there tomorrow evening for negotiations. Iran recently announced that they were closing the strait, which is strange because our blockade has already closed it. They're helping us without knowing, and they are the ones that lose with the closed passage. You American as fuck. Yeah, you not. $500 million a day. The United States loses nothing. In fact, many ships are headed right now to the U.S., Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska to load up compliments of the IRGC, wanting to be the tough guy. We're offering a very fair and reasonable deal. He makes that announcement. And then he says this, which is that, the concept of the deal is done, which is like, okay, the concept of me getting married is done, but I'm not. What does that mean? The concept is done. Like what? Like in theory, we're done, but this isn't theory. This is real. This isn't math theory, brother. This is atoms. Okay? This is fucking atoms. Followed by this, which was the obvious 6K. Thanks for the gifted, brother. This is obviously the escalation. Today, an Iranian flagged cargo ship named Tuska, nearly 900 feet long and weighing almost as much as an aircraft carrier, tried to get past a naval blockade, and it did not go well for them. The U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer, USS Spurance, intercepted the Tuska in the Gulf of Oman and gave them fair warning to stop. The Iranian crew refused to listen, so our ship stopped them right in their tracks by blowing a hole in the engineer room. Right now, the U.S. Marines have custody of the vessel. The Tuska is under U.S. Treasury sanctions because of their prior history of illegal activity. We have full custody of the ship, and we are seeing what's on board. President Donald J. Trump. And so if you're long oil, short equities, this is obviously huge escalation announcement. And the market just like doesn't fucking care anymore. The market's just over the war. I mean, look at, it hardly moved, bro. Like we got a little pump from 85 to like 90, but then we're just back down on news 2 minutes before open that Vance is on the way to Pakistan for negotiation. It just stopped reacting. It's just done reacting. So here's a video of it. Let's see.
Breaking news this morning that U.S. Marines have seized. Back to our breaking news this morning that U.S. Marines have seized an Iranian-flagged oil tanker near the Strait of Hormuz as preparations continue for the next round of peace talks in Pakistan. And this just in, U.S. Central Command has just posted footage on X. Let's run it.
Motor Vessel Toska, vacate your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Okay, we gave the flare. Now we're anything? Be ready.
And one. Thanks for the gifted. Bro. It really just fucking blasted this thing, huh?
We gave the flare.
I love watching your streams right after school. What's up, bro? How old are you? This is not for youngins, man. 16? Damn, did you trade? I like to stay informed. Good for you, bro. When I was 16, I was just fucking being cool, like off IRL maxing and shit. Shout out to you, brother. Net 100x.
Be ready.
Anyways, this shit is nuts. Nah, seriously, shout out. I'm telling you, the entire next generation is going to trade. They're going to show up to the stream. They're going to get into the pit. And they're going to fucking figure out a way to do it. They are. They're going to figure out a way to fucking do it. So shout out to my youngin. That don't sound right, but you know what I meant. And then here's the conclusion of this: is this is the fucking speaker of the Iran's parliament. He doesn't follow me, so I don't follow him respectfully. Tweets: vibe trading digital oil is like vibe hedging in treasuries during Hormuz risk off. Both share one house of cards that works on paper. Different: oil at least has dated Brent. Treasuries vibes all the way down. It's like, when you talk about vibe trading, is fucking unreal. Is this guy really Iranian? That's a good question. Who is this guy, bro? It's actually a good question. Is he really Iranian? Who is? I saw like a picture of him on the on Bloomberg Terminal. He used to be the police chief. Mayor of Tehran. Oh, he's a presidential candidate. He's ran 4 times. It never won. He's ran 4 times. How do you lose 4 times? 4 corruption allegations. He's been dogged by scandals including the Layet Gate, controversy 2022. His family was seen returning from a luxury shopping trip in Turkey during an Iranian economic crisis. Whoa, vibe shopping. He was also linked to multi-billion-dollar embezzlement involving Yas Holding, a subsidiary of the IRGC. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Interesting. Shopping scandal. The shopping scandal. The Sismouni Gate, or the Layet Gate, when his family was returning from a lavish shopping trip in Turkey with roughly 20 large pieces of luggage. 20? The haul reportedly contained high-end baby goods, including a pram, crib, and clothing for his unborn grandchild. That doesn't seem that bad. 20 is crazy, though. He's insider trading like a motherfucker. Nothing on the Layet Gate. 20, bro? Are they just like recopying the same Trump's hot option, just recopying the same announcements? Trump's hot speaker. It's crazy that all these news sites are the exact same. Dead internet theory, just like fucking. And then final is G. So the Strait of Hormuz should be open in call to Saudi crown prince. So, look, the war's still going on. It makes long-term directional bias very difficult to have, if we're being honest. It makes it difficult to have long-term directional bias in the market right now. I don't have any long-term bias except for Bitcoin, which I've had to sell a good amount. It makes it very difficult to do. Okay? Now, what I do think is the most possible in this market that it's ever been is these short-term momentum, attention, pile-on-esque trades that I think we've sort of been nailing. It feels like there's one every couple of weeks, maybe every 10 days or so. The most recent one I was not able to trade, which was psychedelics. Does anyone have psychedelics exposure? There was a complete ripper because apparently Joe Rogan got the voice of the president and ripped through some psychedelics bill, which is nuts. Let's check in really quickly on China Tim and Amazon and see if these are reacting. Let's see. Apple doesn't care. Amazon. Whoa, my God. does care on the Anthropic investment, which seems to be the hottest deal in the fucking world. I want to give you an updated thesis on how I'm thinking about the market. And then I want to talk about this article, which I sent a bunch of excerpts about into the pit last night, if you were reading. I was a little bit like loopy, but I was just ripping bangers because this is what we do. And I think I have some good analogies for you. So this is what we're going to do. Let me get up really quick. I'm going to be back in like 30 seconds, and then I have a lot of takes. CMPS. I'll check it right when I get back. Can I work for Counterpart TG? What do you want to do? If you can get Bill Ackman on the stream, I'll hire you. How about that? We're really guest maxing right now. I just reached out. By the way, 2 people I'm reaching out to right now, really trying to get on, is Michael Saylor and the CEO of Hims. Whoa. Imagine the CEO of Hims. He does media, bro. Here, look. Whoa. This is not the guy that we DM'd. Is this real? This is not who we DM'd. Okay, I guess I got multiple CEOs. Andrew Dudham. Oh. Thank you. Yeah, Andrew Dudham. That's who we reach out to. Yeah, whatever. All right. On these market stuff, most of these are pretty uninteresting. Maybe I'll watch this actually real quick. Let's set the stage with this. The guy just like shit on crypto the whole interview. I want to give you a long take, but let me watch this real quick. Let's see if it's good. Then I want to give you a long take.
How do you get your ideas for signal selection, signal generation for crypto?
Who is this, by the way? I don't really know who this is.
How do you get your ideas for signal selection, signal generation for crypto?
We got ourselves on the world disgruntled employee who gave us the world quant alphas from 15 years ago. That was nice, and they all still work, right? Like they're long gone in crypto. They're long gone in TradFi. In equities, they don't work. They might work in fucking Bhutan or Myanmar or some shit like that. We get a lot of our ideas from group chats. You know, if ever you've heard people say the alpha is in the group chat, yeah, that's true.
Wait, another question about that. Sorry, we can go. I want to go back to this later.
Sure.
But in the group chats, I mean, crypto things are capacity constrained, right? Why are people dropping alpha in the group chat if
so
you can only run a certain amount of money?
It's not that they'll tell you the exact trade, but for example, if I know roughly what time horizon someone's trading on, and I know roughly where they're trading, a little bit of investigative detective
Australian Alex Jones.
work, if you're simple, first year basic bitch quanting, and you're going to figure it out. And so in our case, we happen to know that our dear friend and the absolute smartest guy I know in trading is Macrocephalopod on Twitter.
Who?
And we knew that.
It's who?
I know in trading is Macrocephalopod on Twitter.
Who?
And we knew that he was making a lot of money, and we knew roughly where he was trading. And that's enough, dude. Like, that's fucking enough to figure it out as shit. And we don't trade on the same exchange as him. Like we're indirect competitors. And he's much better than us. It's because he's much smarter. And he's been doing it much longer and so on.
Wait.
Roughly where he was trading. Guy I know in trading is Macrocephalopod on Twitter.
Who?
Smartest guy I know in trading is Macrocephalopod on Twitter.
Macrocephalopod?
Dear friend and the absolute smartest guy I know in trading is Macrocephalopod on Twitter.
Here, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. This was not what I wanted to cover today, but hold on. Followed by DNAP, of course. Who is this? Interesting. Okay. Gang dropped his name with so much conviction it gave an unknown Twitter wizard Macros name Macrocephalopod Aura. Got it. Okay. Anyways, let me just respond to this tweet. Then I want to give you a take. When did you become a Tim Cook expert? I just found out who he was on the news today. All right. Look, I have a take I'm working on. I want to talk about it. Before I read this article, which is, I don't really know like the best way to navigate this take. Let me see if I can catch flow. On this. It's like, okay, trading recently, I've been trying to think about like why everything trades like crypto, right? Like what does that mean? Let me see if I can catch flow. If I can't, I'll just read the article. I might catch flow, I might not. Let's see. I've been trying to think like, what does it mean for everything to trade like crypto, right? Like what exactly does that mean? And I think part of it is what we have covered, which is that fundamentals and PE ratios and earnings are disregarded in exchange for momentum and hype in a lot of aspects, right? It's not that every crypto coin sucks, but it's that almost no crypto coins trade relative to the money that they make or the money that they earn or their fundamentals. I think this is part of it, but it's been adjusted in my head a little bit since the war and trading war for the first time. I've had to rethink why the price is doing what price is doing. And I think a takeaway I've extracted from the war is that on announcements, especially Trump announcements, it isn't just momentum and narrative, but it's that the market is so quick to price in the best and worst case scenario instantly. Instant pricing in of the best and worst case scenario, right? And so really, really, really quickly, you get to how much better can it get and how much worse can it get almost instantly. And so like when we're down 15% on SPX on news that Trump is going to drop a nuke to Iran, you look at the price action, and I was wrong because I got bearish. I'm bearish. But the market is down 15% on news that Trump is saying he's going to nuke Iran. That is, how much worse can it get, right? Because the only worst escalation from there is he actually drops it, which it's not going to happen. There's a scenario, I guess, where it happens. But I found myself bearish at minus 12%. I'm going to nuke Iran. When in reality, that was the pricing in instantly of how much worse can it get. Worst case scenario, instantly priced in. And so there actually probably was a sick long side trade to be had there that I wasn't really able to configure within my brain. And then the other side of this that we're seeing happen over and over and over again is they announce a ceasefire. And then this PA on SPX that we haven't been able to break for like fucking, I don't know, 6 months, right? 155 days of, sorry for my charts being a mess, but look at this. It's like 150 something days, 160 days. It's been like 6 months, is instantly candled to a new ATH in like 3 days. One of the most aggressive pumps ever in SPX. And so you very quickly get met on this chart with, like, I don't know. I think if you're looking at this chart, it's hard to not be bullish, but then you also start thinking to yourself, how much better can it get, especially in the short term? This has always been a crypto thing, right? Like when you're not trading fundamentals that closely, you're now looking at sentiment a lot, narrative, you're looking at flows, and you're often met with how much better can it get, I think, at crypto all the time. This is like a thing. And so I was thinking about my HIMS trade, and the reason that I think this helps with like mega church is like, okay, just the nature of the way people trade now, which is like super online on Twitter, democratization of, and like decentralization, I guess, of news. Everybody has the same news at the exact same time. 60% of options trading is 0 DTE, like leverage basically. And then you have leverage products like Hyperliquid and whatnot. And basically everybody is coming to the same conclusion very fast. The market is forcing it, and they're doing it on leverage. And so when you're trading a mega church type of style, I think on these announcements, you actually just get to the price really quick. Like it happens pretty fucking fast. And then we move on to the next one, right? It's like a news cycle can't last more than 72 hours, whatever it is. And so when the thing of HIMS, it's like, okay, RFK announcement comes out on Wednesday. Everyone decides HIMS is the trade. And then there's just like a pure, unapologetic firing in. It's all anyone's talking about. It's all everyone's bidding. And you just get these like crazy flows into HIMS. And so the reason I sold on Friday, 29.50 or whatever, it had nothing to do with the price. It wasn't about the price. Okay? It was that Trump comes out on Friday and says that we have a ceasefire with Iran, the war is over. And then you just get the like colliding of narratives, and then instantly it's like, how much better can it get? Like we've already hit the upper bound so fast. 72 hours, what's good for Citadel? You hit the upper bound so fast of pricing in the new announcement. And then anything after that point is like a different trade. Because think about it like I was thinking about it like this. What we've realized with the war is like, okay, you price in the best case scenario so quickly that you're almost instantly forced to fade the positioning and now think, what could go wrong? Because this happened with the oil trade so many times. It's pricing in perfection, and then you're now, because the market like moved so aggressively, you're now like, fuck, I liked my entry, but now I have to think the market thinks it's perfect. If anything is not perfect, we're going to aggressively go the other direction. Like we're going to aggressively whipsaw the other way. The market's just pricing in perfection. And so I think one of the things that I've really felt as we're trading these markets, and especially the attention flows, and especially through the lens of war, is that now more than ever, you hit the top bound or the bottom bound so quickly, and then you have to fade positioning. And so what I've deducted from this is like, if you're on leverage, you just realize the trade really quick. Citadel, to the 5 gifted. Thank you. You realize the trade really quick on leverage, and you're going to get whipsaw destroyed. And the only way to get through these longer term trades is just going to be spot or 2x. Like I felt like it took me, this is like think about the oil trade. Who made it through? The PP Poo Poo guys, the Crude Oil 231 guys. Think about the guys that made it through and made 8 figures on the trade. You just like couldn't sit in leverage because perfection, worst case, perfection, worst case, perfection, worst case, perfection, worst case. And you just get completely destroyed. And so when you ask me, is this my cope for closing the HIMS trade? It's no. it's my rationale for closing it. I mean, it was a nice trade. It's up, I don't know, a couple percentage points higher than where I closed. But I'm basically like thinking through why I had to close. It had nothing to do with the price. Like, it wasn't a price target. It was like, no. We just hit, like, think about it. It's like these peptide announcements aren't actually going to come into play in the supply chain for like many months. Hims, when they actually start distributing Retta and GHK in these peptides that RFK is pushing through, it's going to be like actual months. But the market is so short term with flows that it realizes that price spread instantly. And so it's done. Like, it's kind of done to me on the attention part. Like, it happened, it's done. And then now it's just like fundamentally different trade. Like, I've liked to stay in it later, but I don't know. I felt like the market didn't allow me to do it. And so I had to just get out. And so there's a really good article on this, actually. And we have the DeFi guy coming on in 10 minutes, Tom, who's such a chat. Let me see if there's anything like good in here that I want to read. Let's see. Yeah, like, we often joke about everything trading like a shitcoin, but it's unequivocally true with each passing day. Fundamentals still mostly drive the market on long enough time frames. But in the short to midterm, flows, positioning, leverage, options, overall market plumbing dominate the direction. Very true. Of course, it's not something new or particularly insightful, but I think the weight of the collective influence is still broadly underappreciated. This is like a rewording of megachurch. Like, this is not like a new insight, but I think it's underappreciated. I agree with that. And so he had this really good tweet that we liked where everything, trades like crypto. We talk about it all the time. And so who wrote this article? Tokes. Really, really, really sharp guy. To highlight these more specifically, we'll examine what happens when those plumbing factors work in the bull's favor. I'm just going to skim through this real quick. Let me see if I can find some flow here. And finally, for the good news, if that doesn't happen and things are more or less wrapped up in a couple weeks, then hope wins out. At least, okay, let's see. Okay, when in hindsight, I wish I would have pounded the table for the bull scenario in that post a bit more. He wrote an article a couple weeks ago. It was pretty good. It was kind of peak bottom. The effects outlined above make the reactionary nature of markets much more valuable than the predictive ones. Of course, everyone wants to quote tweet victory lap predictions, but pseudo trend algo following these headline terrorism markets is more valuable as you know the chase. That importantly happens in both directions is now on. As we saw in the headlines at the top of the article, in this market, the predictive outcomes are less valuable than following the systemic that flows are forced to crowd back into markets. And so he's basically saying, like, you could be right about the long-term trend or trying to predict how the war is going to play out, which was our original thesis, the spread between how out of control it's gotten in position, But in reality, there's so much capital that has to avalanche flow on headlines that, like, there's just more money to be made right there. So we highlighted some of them. Okay, watch. Okay, so what now? Well, as you can see in the charts above, we're probably back in the danger zone. The binary outcome of 2 weeks ago, solve this somehow. Some way to rip markets or everything really dies. Is reset, and as of Saturday morning, we are, IMO, squarely leaning more heavily into the scared again phase. Not scared in the sense of, oh shit, this is horrendous, like we were in the initial outset of the war, but scared enough by the combination of, one, how much better can it get? I had never considered this. I like this. Crypto people are deeply aware of this. And even more so the opposite phrase of how much worse can it get at market bottoms. At this stage, I'm not sure what news flow could meaningfully guide markets higher, and they're currently priced to essentially a perfect outcome of the chaos that is still the Strait of Hormuz. Number one. Number two, the propensity for silliness to occur at around market highs. The admin routinely feels emboldened when markets are at their highs like we now currently are. I would argue this is compounded by the velocity of rally, providing them with even more confidence moving forward. This is the thicky take. It's like, has reverse effects. Is that admin posts good news, markets rally, gives them more time. They now feel like they can engage in more fuckery when the market is actually telling them to get out. I feel confident in believing that we're generally in a structurally higher VIX, DXY yields, and oil environment. How much lower or worse can these assets trade in the short term? will almost certainly continue to wax and wane between buying and selling these assets force, while the pendulum has now clearly swung back to the upside in them. A couple more. The Strait of Hormuz still isn't open. We're going on 6 weeks of this now, and while 2 weeks ago I highlighted that the market doesn't particularly care about things until they hit the U.S., the situation for the rest of the world deteriorates by the day. The binary outcome has played out, and the picture is once again increasingly opaque. We just had one of the greatest bounces in the history of equities markets, which is crazy. That happened. Well, it's probably okay to be a bit cautious now, given the circumstances that caused the initial sell-off haven't changed that much. How much longer can the peace during the war, escalation, and bad news during the weekend continue? If there's an edge to be had, it's almost always quickly erased. Is this different? Not much else. This is a good one too. I like good excerpt here. Being an equity bear is essentially almost always a losing game, but it compounds to a truly dangerous place when the bearishness case makes so much sense. Add in the whiplash of headline terrorism. I like that. Combined with a Pavlovian response to bid equities, no matter what the sell-off is, and you're quickly ran over. Even if there's escalation next week, the fear of missing the rally on the other side of whatever the solution comes has compounded since COVID. 20% sell-offs become 15% sell-offs that become 10% sell-offs, which result in 5% sell-offs because it's all going to be okay anyways. That is until, you know, the mythical big one. Optimus wins. Very good one. It talks about crypto a little bit. And we can cover some of this. He has a good amount of spot exposure on crypto. But yeah, basically my takeaway from this whole thing is that headline markets, especially on the bull side, or the way that these headlines are trading on the bull side, is aggressively prices perfection in every single time. And that gives us a lot of money to be made, I think, on these announcements. Like the HIMS one was HIMS and oil, I feel like I've learned a lot from. They've been very insightful. We'll see how HIMS trades long-term here, but I think the oil one showed us more than anything. The market wants to price in perfection on every headline. And so there's a lot of short-term delta to be realized every single time. And I think that we can hit a lot of these. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just having survivorship bias here, but based on how we've traded the last couple months, I feel like we can really hit a lot of these. Bull side, perfection priced in instantly on new moves because there's just like so much. I don't even like know how to describe it exactly, what I'm trying to say. Is it rude to ask how much you made on HIMS? Yeah, a little bit. I made 75%. I made 75% on some size. Let me text Tom. Let me just invite him actually. Yeah. No, you could trade Anthropic on Hyperliquid. Pre-IPO perps for superpower would be nice. That'd be a fun one to trade on. That would be a fun one to trade on peptides. Let me get it for you. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is I have a DeFi expert. Do you think that headline warfare will be the new wave going forward? I think the new wave going forward is just more retail trades. This is like a mega trend. More retail trades, therefore more flows are jerky and fast and piling and momentum, and we can exploit it, I think. You can exploit it by being able to catch it early in size, and then you can exploit it by having a long-term time horizon. One of the two. Long-term time horizon, you can avoid all this fuckery as well. But you have to believe in a company. And the problem is I haven't believed in anything in a while. So you're either high lev, size, be right, be early, and have fucking conviction to put your dick on the table. And then the other side of it is you have long time horizon. That's how you beat the slop. Long time horizon is partly how we're gonna beat the slop, I really believe. So, all right. There was a massive exploit this weekend, okay, that involved Layer 0, that involved Aave, that involved all of these things. We covered market close, we covered the market, I covered my new takes on the market, generally how I'm thinking about things, hunting for the new trade. But there was a massive DeFi exploit in crypto. And so I have, I don't know, one of my favorite people in the world, Tom Kaiser, coming on the stream right now, and he's going to talk us through. He's not going to be on there for that long, but he's going to come on. We're going to talk about DeFi, the state of it, how bad it was, how much money's off-ramped, where that money's going to go, and what the fuck we're going to do about it. And so I think if you care about crypto, like it, hate it, whatever, you have to listen to this. You really do. So I know I just got up. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to get up. I'm back in 30 seconds. I didn't fill my water. I'm fucking my throat. Dude, I did an interview before this. My throat hurts. Pause. And we have a really special guest coming on right now. So hope you liked my rant. I'll be right back, and let's get Tom on. Let me get him in real quick. Did anyone have any exposure to any of this DeFi stuff? I'm really sorry if you did. Does anyone hold Layer 0, hold Aave even, like hold the spot tokens? Anyone have any exposure to any of this? It's pretty fucking gnarly what happened, I can't lie. I haven't heard about Aave in months, he says. Nice. 0. Asteroid, man. Is it going up? Let's see. Oh my god. This is crazy to me. Why? Man, maybe I'm just washed. I'm just like a stock trader right before crypto fucking sends it back. This is who holds this in the stream? Is that Quant guy still here? It's insane. You're holding. He is here. Ah. Oh my god, I've got a massive bag. What percent are you up? You don't mind me asking. Percent, not All right, one more market check before he joins. Give him a second. Amazon looks sick. Apple, what did it do? Nothing. Faded the short. Couple X, nice. Anything else that we care about? WTI, I guess. We're going up, sort of. Whoa. I'm so happy we don't watch this all day. What about Brent? Buy $5,000 of oil, certainly a 2x. Are you out of your mind? $160 Brent. Are you out of your fucking? You lost it. What are you talking about? There's not impossible, bro. Also, you must be new here because you don't know what we've gone through. All right, give him like 1 second. He's in the waiting room now. This is like the best guy for this, I think. I don't think we'll be on for that long, but Luke, I'm ready. I don't think you understand what happens if oil hits 170, brother. It's over. Who is this? I'll tell you real quick. Luke, send him in the live channel. This is who this is. He's been on before. I escaped an Ave expert to be a bald demon. Oh, I expected. No, he's like the freshest guy ever. He's so cool. Tom Kaiser. He works at this gas.zip, which is like a cross-chain liquidity bridge sort of thing. And he's just like so deep on layer 0. He also used to work on the first prediction market ever. The first prediction market that ever came out, he worked there. He's like a real like OG. All right, let's jump in right now. All right, BRB. 1 second, Tom. Let me get you right. Damn, I don't think I can hear you though. Let me check. Hold on. Input device. Try that. Hey, Luke, join. Shifty Luke, join the thing real quick. My I think my output device is fucked. Oh, this should be good. Talk real quick. All right, we're good. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, everyone should be good.
Tom, what's up, man?
Good morning, GM or
Good morning,
BM.
dude. How are you,
Might
man?
might be a BM of a week for everybody, a little bit.
It's
but
a fucking
so,
nuts week, huh? Let me
bro,
get your- right.
it's. I feel like it's been like this has been like the last 3 months. I think for everybody, it's just like every week is just shit. But like we're still alive.
For crypto, we are still alive.
Just for everything, right? And it's just like every day, every week, something new happens. So it's like,
all right, cool. I got your frame right. Dude, I'm hyped you came back on. I knew you came back on like no notice too, which is fucking awesome. You're one of my favorite, honestly, one of the sickest guests ever. I came on like 6 months ago. I consider you honestly a good friend at this point. Great comms on the crypto side. Do you want to give a quick intro on who you are, and then let's hit what the fuck just happened in DeFi? What is the future of DeFi? We'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Tom. You know, I run a bridge called gas.zip. Mainly geared towards smaller value transactions, but really high chain coverage. So we're a bridge very similar to kind of the relays of the world today, right? Instant, we focus more on instant delivery and like very cheap, with a lot of, kind of trade-offs. And this is kind of like what you get into, like what happened with the layer 0 stuff today. Right. But, so it's, I mean, I spent a long time in my life building crypto stuff that literally nobody ever used. And this is like everyone's, like a lot of people's journey, right? Like I spent like 10 years building shit that nobody ever just used. So this time around, it was very much like, I want to build something that like maybe some people will use, and then afterwards you can kind of back your way into like making that the technically sound solution, right? And I feel like that's how a lot of the apps that people use today kind of went, with this generation of approach. It was like, build something that first like solves the problem of a couple thousand people, and like, yeah, it's gonna be like rounded, like the corner's gonna be rounded. Like, is it like decentralized? But so I mean, I do bridging stuff, right? I did prediction markets for a long time, and just kind of sit around and read Twitter all day, and but yeah, bridging is kind of like the main stuff for the last couple of years. We're very close. So like in full, like we built stuff on layer 0, right?
Yes.
So traditionally speaking, I'm like a layer 0 guy, right? Yes. Like, in a broad stroke, I'm like a layer 0 shill. But that doesn't also mean the stuff that happened this week was just, it's pretty, for lack of better terms, pretty fucking bad across the board. It's pretty fucking bad.
So let's talk about it. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was not online this weekend, and then I'm like catching up. It's like all over the place. And so we've had back to back. We had Drift, which I know is like a fake DeFi label, but it got the label, and I think was exploited for $300 million. And then we have everything that just happened over the weekend. And so we could skip the Drift one. I think that has been debunked how that happened. Just fucking piss poor management, some social engineering, a little bit of everything.
Yep.
But there's this broader secular terrifying fear around AI exploits and mythos, and then at the same time, we have what just happened with layer 0 of all this. Like, can you just give us like a breakdown of like what just happened, how $300 million and some change was exploited? Correct me if I'm wrong in that number, and then we can dive into specifics on like what DeFi looks like from here.
Yeah. So this was kind of like the dark underbelly. Like, this was like the classic FUD that you would like fearmonger on not only layer 0, but a lot of DeFi protocols, where it was kind of like one of these things where it's like, we all know this like isn't ideal. And it's like not it's kind of like the worst fear that like nobody really thought was going to happen, but we all knew could kind of happened. Happened. And it pretty much all boils down to a lot of this being that, for lack of a better term, particularly in bridging, we have like a saying, a broad stroke is like, everything's just kind of a scam, man, right? And like, all this stuff is just like, and like, it kind of works until the scam doesn't work anymore. And like, so what happened here was essentially, layer 0 is the, messaging verification provider for this wrapped Ether token. I don't even know what this wrapped Ether token is.
RS, ETH, or whatever.
Yeah, one of these like RS, Q, ETH.
I don't even know what it is. I really don't understand it.
Here you go. I like stopped. Got it. Once we went like 2 or 3 loops down the restate ETH.
Okay.
But granted, essentially they act as the authority of like minting and burning of this token, right?
Layer 0.
The layer 0 protocol will validate messages that say, burn some tokens over here, remint them over here. They are for kind of like shitcoin terms, like they're the mint authority, they're the admin key, right? And layer 0 is designed in a way where the validation of those messages should and can be done by many people, or this was the kind of the DVN, right? So normally when you say, I have like 1 ETH over here and I want it over here, there should be like 3 or 4 validators in the middle that kind of like all agree on this process. However, the default in layer 0 is actually just layer 0 sitting in the middle. Just one.
So if you can compromise one, you got it.
Yeah. Okay, that was like, so layer 0 is designed in a way where the application gets to choose who those validators are. However, the default setting is just one, and it's just them. And this is kind of where like how people aren't really super happy with layer 0's answer, because layer 0's answer is kind of, hey, layer 0 is like, we told you not to just use us as the validator, and you can go and put more validators in there. However, it's one of these things where like 90% of anybody who uses built into layer 0 application, they use the defaults.
And is it cheaper, more efficient? Why do you just use layer 0?
The real thing is like we built stuff like, I think most people don't even fucking know how to like configure this stuff that built it. Like, you don't even really know. It's just like built into the config. If you like really dig into it and start understanding what's happening there, you like start to comprehend all of these different kind of configurations that you can make. But like, even just like building a simple application on top of these protocols, like you probably don't even really fucking know what's happening.
Serious?
No, it's like you just like kind of like deploy these repos and like you might know, and like, but it's like, I mean, it's the default. It's like the thing with everything, right? Like you put a default in, just 90% of the time people are going to use the default, right? They don't really know, they don't really care, and like for the most part, it's been fine, right? In layer 0's defense, for the last 3 years, it's been fine, right? And this is kind of how a lot of this stuff works in crypto. It's just like, yeah, it's like kind of centralized underneath it all, and we obfuscate it along the way. And it works until it doesn't. But at the end of the day, essentially, there was a wrapped asset that was backed by hundreds of millions of dollars that could be minted and created and burned, arbitrarily by layer 0, one singular validator key running somewhere, with I mean, there's no like security, there's no like if you lie as like a Ethereum staker, like a node participant in the network, you get slashed, right? Like you like stake your ETH, and like if you lie, there's a penalty, you get slashed, right? Like that like doesn't exist here. This is just like layer 0 lied. They didn't lie, they were wrong,
Or
right?
like pretend. Yeah.
There's no cost for doing it, right? It's just like oopsies, like sorry, $350 million got minted. So I mean, the thing I like to say is honestly, and we don't.
So there was
really
like $350 million that could of like back liquidity that could be minted, or could back like the minting of this ETH restaked token. Somebody somehow figured out how to like compromise the singular layer 0 validator and say like mint 300 billion of ETH to this wallet, and it got checked, greenlit, and it went through.
Yeah, and then those tokens, right? Like those tokens don't even need to be backed by anything. Like they could have printed a billion of them, right? But the thing is, like once you get those tokens minted, those tokens are now used as collateral in Aave, in all of these DeFi things.
Got it. So you could throw them.
Right?
You get these tokens. What do you do with them? You throw them into Aave. You cash out like USDC or something.
And this is why like Aave is now in a world where all the real money's gone. Because like they just printed a bunch.
Because if you're like a lender on Aave, you're like approving all this random shit. That's like, what even is it?
Yeah. So it's like if you accept this like weird wrapper token as collateral in all of DeFi, and I can just like print this weird collateral token, I just go and swap it out in all of these DeFi systems for the real money, and I give you this token that is. It's part of it is backed somewhere, right? But like that minting of it wasn't back. It was like this was I hit infinite mint on the token and I swapped it out everywhere, right?
Is
like,
it on you as the lender to approve this random ETH restaked token, or does the whole system just recognize this as like Ether?
So it depends like what pools you lend into. So this is like I think the ones that got hit in Aave were shared pools, but like this is like if you go to like a lending market, they'll have things called like isolated lending pools. And we like started moving towards some of these, which is where when you are a lender, you essentially say like, yeah, I don't want someone to be able to give me RSWE as like collateral for my real dollar, right? So like we have, but I believe most of this was shared. But like this is like how DeFi will, like if DeFi just like blows up, like imagine somebody could just mint USDC, right? Like the USDC would be worthless. But they could use that USDC to exchange it across the whole ecosystem.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And if at any point there's ever some exploit before you could catch it, you could run to DeFi platform Aave and you could borrow against it fast, get money out, and then they can't force you on chain to return it.
And even, I mean, yes, and the actual reality of that is it happens in the same transaction now, right? It's like,
Flash
so they like
kind of thing, yeah.
It just happens in a single block. You don't even know what happened. It's like these guys mint these things.
Okay, so somebody finds exploit on layer 0 where they can basically mint 300 billion.
What layer 0 said happened was they compromised their RPC provider.
Okay.
Which is like, so the scary part here is layer 0 runs nodes. They connect like an RPC in your wallet, right? And you have like these like fallback systems when a node isn't available, you fall back to another one and another one. They said essentially, their good nodes were like DDoSed and turned, so they were turned off. It fell back to these two backup nodes that they run. And the backup nodes were apparently compromised, like on the root level. And like, this is the part that's kind of like brushed, the scary part of all, like layer 0 core internal infrastructure was compromised somewhere here, right? Like if this is true, like their private internal nodes they were running, somebody was able to get in there and essentially, they put in like essentially like a fake block, right? And it said that like this block happened on Unity chain. That's like how it is. So it's like they compromised the node to return that somebody bridged, $350 million from Unity chain, and that didn't happen. So like the terrifying part here is that like core infrastructure of this protocol was compromised on some root level. And like this was probably like one of the least, I mean, not least, but like, you know, if you have like root access to layer zero's infrastructure, I would think there's like, you know, I mean, you could really do some fucking damage, right? And this is just the terrifying thing is there was like a hole somewhere in layer zero's infra, and like North Korea got in there or whoever. And like this is like, how does this happen? This is the first time we've ever really seen an attack like this happening, where they say like, I compromised your node provider. And like that's even think of you, like you just like use your wallet, right? Like what happens if you just like your RPC provider lies to you, right? Like it's terrifying. But that's what happened here.
So
right?
like, okay. Somebody, so you DDoS layer 0 RPCs. There's a couple like backup ones that you figure out how to get control. There's this root access where you only need like one validator from layer 0. And you figure out if you can convince this validator, I'm retarded, but like generally, you can convince this validator that I have greenlit this transaction. You could mint 300 million and some change of this RS, you know, double, triple restaked ETH to your wallet. And in the same transaction, you send it to Aave, you borrow against it, you pull out cash before anyone even realizes what happened. You have 300 million cash.
Bada bing.
Whoa.
And this is like, you know, like you don't even know what happens because it's like.
And whose money is this?
Your money.
Like who the pool of capital that, not on Aave, but the pool of capital to mint the 300 million in ETH, where does that stem from? Or is that just like, you're just like creating a new asset? Like there's no money required. You just create 350 million worth and then borrow against it. Like how does that get created?
Yeah. There was no, I mean, you know, there is backed like restaked ETH of this that like exists in the world.
But this isn't back. This is just like new added to the pool.
Yeah, this was just minting the shitcoin. This was like mint the shitcoin and
got it. So basically they minted a fake token that isn't worth 350 mil, but they were able to borrow 350 million against it. And so the lenders are out cash 350 mil.
Oh yeah.
And so Aave gets destroyed because $350 million just went to something that was not real and bypassed their system, basically.
They have RSW in exchange for it now, which isn't worth anything because they just poofed it into the air, right?
Holy
you know?
fuck.
Yeah,
so what does Aave do?
I mean, and this is like what's the everyone's kind of looking at now. I mean, for lack of, so Aave has, this is like called a bad debt in the lending system, right?
Yes.
And it's never good, right? But there are some, so they have, like reserve pools, right? It's like an exchange reserve pool too, like a security fund. I don't think it covers this. Like the broad story is like, there's going to be a haircut. Like people are going to lose money. Now they're kind of debating, where does that haircut come from? Does it come from people who had this wrapped ETH only on like L2 chains? Does it come from people who had this ETH on like the mainnet? And like this hasn't been decided yet, I believe. But Aave made a statement the other day that kind of leaned in the direction of that the people on the L2s probably are going to be the ones that take the haircut, and that the mainnet guys like probably shouldn't be the ones that have to like eat this loss. But like there's gonna just be like massive losses that have to be eaten somewhere, right? And it's like, it's the user's money. Yeah, that's like this is what happens like when you exchange real money for a token, and that token is like, garbage. It's not even that the token was garbage. It's that, I mean, it's the same thing as like you're trading coins, right? Like the dev has infinite mint. And like we have all this stuff in place to like hopefully make it so dev can't like use infinite mint, or that dev won't use infinite mint, or that it can't. But like it still exists. And like layer 0, the DVN of all of these like OFT, tokens that, these wrappers and stuff, like the interop network is the dev. And like we try to make it so that like, 3 people need to like agree before infinite mint can happen. Yeah, but like, a lot of these cases, it's just one of one. Really, there's no decentralized, like, cross-chain, like, bridging. Like, all of this stuff, Layer 0, Wormhole, Axelar, all of these things. Like, it's all the same thing. It's a couple validators or one in this case, like verifying things. Like we don't have decentralized like cross-chain messaging. Like it just doesn't exist yet, right? And we all kind of obfuscate it, and whoever obfuscates it the best kind of has like the best interop protocol today, right? But all fucking layer zero is
fucking
it's a multi-sigs validating messages that happened over here and happened over here. But then like you put all this kind of stuff on top of it and like you don't really, it's like an interop network now, right? But it's the same thing as you sitting there and like just saying like, yep, transaction happened over here, yep, transaction over here. Like we have no way for, Solana and Ethereum to talk natively.
This is bad, man. Tell me this. So I saw this post. How does the hacker get the money off chain? Sexus won't take it. You can't lend it anymore. You can't off ramp at all. What do you do? It's like,
yeah, it's really hard. And like,
wait, could you explain what you would? Okay, I don't know if you can answer this, but like, if you hypothetically, if you hacked 300 mil, what would you do with it?
I would try to return it for 10% of like real. Like, I don't know how you get that money out. Like, I really don't. Particularly if it's on L2. Like, you can like canonically bridge some of it out, right? Which is like the 7-day like exit like that to mainnet type thing. But
explain that.
This is just like you have money on like Arbitrum and like you want it back on ETH. This is like the slow withdrawal.
Okay.
Essentially that money that the guy has like in ETH like exists somewhere. It exists in like the Arbitrum bridge or wherever it is. Okay. Your real issue is that like once you steal such a large sum of money, it's more just like what you said before is like it's just like hard to do. Even if you have it all in something that is like, say you had it all in like mainnet ETH, like it's still really hard to, you go into like I think what you see today is with large sums is they try to get it to mainnet. And once you get it to mainnet, they'll use things like, you try to get it to like Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is the largest asset and Bitcoin has these still like, these like tumbling pools, right? What do they have? Like CoinJoin, whatever. Okay. This is like, you like something get hacked and like, they like shove it all into like ThorChain, right? And then they get like, because like the pool of BTC money to like launder your money in is like much larger than the pool of like ETH to do that in the world, right? But still, like I don't know how. I mean, I'd be led to believe there's still effective ways to do it, considering North Korea still does this. Like, I mean, Bybit, they laundered like I think they laundered like $1 billion with the Bybit hack, right? And I think most of it is actually gone through ThorChain. A lot of it's just like these like shitty centralized exchanges, these like offshore sexes, right? Like shove it through like KuCoin, shove it through like whoever. But like I don't know, because it's at some point when you have such a large pool of stolen money, right? It's hard to hide it. Like you can't. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, no one wants to take it, right?
No one wants to take it. It's like really easy to identify. And this is. I don't know, maybe North Korea has some like nuclear bomb supply for, vendors that just like take their Arbitrum Ether directly. But like it's, in reality, I imagine they probably try to start laundering it, but a lot of the times you see this, the money will just never move. It'll just sit there.
Just sits there and you just fucking jerk off to it. Show it at the club.
When they used to like arrest like really early, like guys who would like steal a lot of Bitcoin, like darknet, blah, blah, blah. They would never move it. They'd arrest them like 5 years later and they'd talk to them and they would be like, yeah, I couldn't really do anything with it. And my bet was just hold on to it. And that like in 20 years,
something would happen.
There's going to be some new like crazy Zcash Monero, blah, blah, blah. But I would be, they just sit on it forever. Right. But I don't know. I don't know if they've started trying to launder the money yet or move it around, but, assuming this is actually like what they think, like a Lazarus, North Korea, yada yada, like a state-sponsored actor. I mean, there's no recovery there, right? Like, there's no chance of this money ever coming back. There's no chance of like a white hack bounty, like that doesn't happen, right? It is just sometimes you get lucky if it's like some shithead kid that was just like fucking around with AI and like stole your protocols like $3 million. And he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna go to jail now, right? And, he's like, oh, give me 50 grand, I'll give it back. But these are, and it's like, it's scary because this sort of like problem, which is like, we think there's some security around assets that you have your money in that like it's just it doesn't really exist. Like we don't really know,
Just, like,
right?
not there.
You know, like even with like the EVM stuff should be the most that like the contracts are verified, they're like reused all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like all speaking, like everyone could like read this stuff and figure out what was happening, and then like you go to all the like this is my long tail like bear Solana case.
Okay,
It's
give it to
just
me.
that like nobody knows what the fuck any of this stuff is doing, right? Like if we don't even know like what's happening on the Ethereum, and like Ethereum's open, it's reused, it's open source, it's audited, everyone can read it. Like Solana, like nobody even can like read most of these. Like nobody knows what's happening, and that's like probably playing in its favor right now because like that makes it harder to But like the idea that like I can only imagine how many fucking exploits exist out here. It's just like nobody can read this shit yet. Nobody knows how to use it yet. And if like stuff like this is still happening with like with like EVM contracts and like systems that we have and like have had in public reused like for like many years, and like we still find like new problems every day, right? And it's just like the more complicated you make something, it's security by obfuscation, right? Like it's not a good security method, right? But at some point, it's just like, I don't know any of this. I don't know how any Solana stuff works. I have no fuck. I don't think I've ever read a Solana contract. I don't know where I would read it if I wanted to. At least like Etherscan, I go like read contracts and like I can kind of see what's happening. I have no idea. And like that's good because that means there's a lot of people who can't like easily go and attack it, right? But at some point, I don't know, right? It's just, I mean, all this stuff is fucking terrifying, man. Like the fact that we like put our money in this shit is kind of like absolutely terrifying because like a lot of it is safe, but like, you have any idea? Well, I don't have any idea. Like a lot of this stuff, right? You put your money in some DeFi thing, this, that, some app, possibly there's some perp exchange, right? Like, who the hell knows what's happening there? You don't read this stuff. I don't read this stuff, right? Like, and the more complicated it gets, like, the more it's like not a problem until it kind of is. Like, nobody ever talked about the fact that Layer 0 was secured by one validator. Like, nobody talked about this. It was there. Like, a bunch of people knew it. Like, we all kind of knew this existed. Nobody ever talked about it. Some guy made a good point. Like, they onboarded this collateral on Aave. They looked at, like, the onboarding application. This, like, wasn't ever even brought up that, like, we're going to add this collateral that, by the way, can be, like, minted arbitrarily by this one key that, like, might be in Layer 0's basement on a server. Like, it was never even brought up. It's just, like, there's, like, a lot of existential risk that exists in all of this that, all things considered, we're like probably pretty lucky to the extent that like we've been, these like the hacks like are bad, right? We have all this stuff, but like there's like I think there's terrifying stuff that exists out there that like is just not happening yet. It's nobody, and it takes well resourced, dedicated, like sophisticated attackers. And like that's like kind of what you're seeing today with these like North Korea-esque type groups, right? Like that probably took these guys months. Like I don't know how you even compromise like the Layer 0 like core info, but like these like this is like a thing that probably takes like many months. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of resources. It takes a lot of but and then on the flip side, yeah, you have these we've had a couple where kids just like put a contract into ChatGPT and are like, hey, can you like make the money come out of this? And like give it to me, and like occasionally it just happens. Yeah. So like combine all this together, and you either it's the stuff is putting your money in like contracts. It's just honestly, it's a all of crypto is kind of a terrifying proposition when you start to and we're giving everybody the tools to start like really poking with them today, right? This is why like we see a hack every 2 or 3 weeks now. It used to kind of be like once every couple months you would see a big hack.
A cycle maybe. Big one every cycle.
And they are kind of similar, like say like the drift thing was functionally a centralization, issue, right? It was somebody who had authority to, make these admin decisions.
Social engineering type of thing.
Yeah,
it's like a retard. Yeah,
whatever being compromised. It boils down to there being a single source or key or person in the system that has power to
do stuff.
They're dev and they have admin key. Yeah, it's the same thing as regular coins. It's just like when dev has admin key, you've been there. Like your coin is going, and then just dev like mints a bunch of it and rugs the pool. Like it's the same exact thing, but with like DeFi protocols, right? And that's like kind of what you're seeing with a lot of this stuff. But granted, I think the TLDR is this money's not coming back for sure, right? I think it's a Wormhole had something kind of similar like 2 or 3 years ago. If you remember when Wormhole had like a $5 million hack, right? It's kind of the same thing here, and like nobody like Layer Zero's response isn't people didn't like it because Layer Zero's response is like the protocol behaved as it should have, which like isn't wrong, but it's also kind of like hey, you like shot yourself in the face, but like the gun functioned as like proper, like as it should. It's just like, it's like, because it's true, like Layer Zero behaved as it should have. This validator validated a message. It's just that like the message was fake. And like, but Banteg had like a good modern, I don't know, it was a couple hours ago. And I think this is the way it's going to go. He said something along the lines of, they should get everybody in the room together, because as of right now, it's kind of like everybody like not taking blame, talking like very and like legal-esque and like lawyering up. And I think that's kind of what's happening right now. I think everyone's fucking terrified of like, was this my fault?
And if it is, no one's sure who's like under the gun for this.
Is it like Zero? Is it whatever this ether thing is? Like, who knows? Yeah. But I think this is. I mean, it's such a large amount. Yeah. So I don't think anyone's really going to take blame, and it's like everyone, which like isn't good either, because it's kind of everybody pointing their fingers at everybody else.
Okay. I mean, there's one question I have to ask you. I don't really want to ask it because I'm scared what you're going to say. But what happens to Hyperliquid here?
So I mean, yeah, this is like the terrifying thing too. Yeah,
give it the Hyperliquid take. Just do it.
No, I mean Hyperliquid is much better in the sense of like Hypercore, the chain does have this 12 validator network type thing, right? Like there is this network of validators that are maintaining and running Hypercore, and these validators have a stake. So like if they behave maliciously, they will have like money taken from them. There's a cost, right? The scary thing of Hyperliquid is the bridge. So that Arbitrum bridge, like when you deposit money into Hyperliquid, that's still a multi-sig. So that bridge is, I think it's like, a 2 of 3 multi-sig. And I mean, I think that is how much money's in that bridge. It's, this is like the joke that Arbitrum became, the purpose of Arbitrum is just like a bridge into Hyperliquid, right? Like there's a contract on Arbitrum somewhere that just has billions and billions of dollars of, essentially all the USDC that exists in Hyperliquid. And that's a multi-sig, right? And like, granted, that multi-sig, from what we know about it, is not anywhere near the same thing as what just happened with Layer Zero, right? It's not like Drift. It's much. The Hyperliquid, multi-sig is, I think it's 2 of 3. They have, they have communicated like what some of their procedures are for like how the multi-sig will like interact. We know like like it can go into it'll go into like a paused mode, like if like something looks suspicious and stuff like all things considered, it is a somewhat sounder deployment of like this. But at the same time, there is a multi-sig that exists somewhere that can like arbitrarily kind of steal all of the money out of that bridge, right? And it's like it's like existential like problem and concern there. It's nowhere near like Jeff has a single key that exists on a server in his basement, and if North Korea gets in, you're fucked, which is kind of what happened here. But functionally, it's still multi-sig.
As of April 26th, the Hyperliquid bridge holds approximately 4.7 billion in TVL.
Yeah. And so actually, the best thing that they ever, this is kind of like, the not good security answer, but if you steal, I mean, sure, you could do the same thing. You would, but like you would get USDC. USDC is a
they would freeze it.
Freezable asset by it's a less desirable asset to steal, right? Because Circle can freeze those coins, right? But again, you would steal it all and try to like cycle it out for Ethereum as quickly as you can, across all this stuff. But in a broad stroke, I'm like, the Hyperliquid bridge being a 2 of 3 multisig is low on my list of, like crypto modern day security concerns. Does it exist? Yeah, absolutely. Is it great? No. Right? It's not something that like
that's it. If that happened, right?
it doesn't keep me awake at night. No,
Okay.
I think there's a lot of other
Wait, what's high and
things.
what's relevant and high on your list, like the combined biggest that's high?
Honestly, it was this kind of stuff for a while. Is like the interop and bridging stuff, because a lot of tokens use these. They're like token standards today, right? So like layer 0 is called an OFT, and this is like it's like an ERC20, right? But it allows this token to like burn and mint on all these different chains between each other, right? Like that is like this. Exactly what happened here is like, and this can happen in many other cases where it's just you can mint a token when you shouldn't be able to, and that token is now worth a lot of money in all these other systems, and you can go and kind of clean all of the real money out in exchange for it, right? Pretty much every interop protocol has this risk, and I mean, I think layer 0's OFTs, I think they have what? I think there's like $15 billion of value in there, right? Like I think WBTC is an OFT today, right? Like I think Wrap Bitcoin is like one of these things today. They all have this kind of same security model. Like, there is functionally, some level of centralization that exists in the world that is the authoritative validator of, the supply being created and destroyed. And if you can get it to create value without that value actually existing, like this is what you get today. So like interrupt stuff has been like my biggest fear for a long time. And that's I think where a lot of the value resides. And the boiled down version of that is just, our biggest risk is centralization being like exploited, much more so than like a contract having a bug, right? That happens. But our biggest risk is building systems where me or you have, authority to, control this system more so than the average person or regular participant, and us being compromised and, a bad actor like using that. It's just below all this, like, we want to get to a point where everything's decentralized, right? And trustless and like build these good systems and services. But functionally speaking, like it's still very early with a lot of this. And like, this is everything's a scam, like dark secret of the room nobody likes to talk about is everything's still kind of fucking centralized.
Okay,
here, man,
give me a take on this. One of the last things I want to ask you is like, by the way, thank you. Terrifying, but thank you. Is
no, it's terrifying.
I mean, what happens to DeFi from here?
So like, I don't think like DeFi is like, I think DeFi wins in the long run, right? I don't think it wins to the extent that everyone, I think DeFi wins in that like crypto will be a persistent asset class in the future, right? There's people that exist like me, probably like you, where we're probably going to keep most of our life's value in some digital system or service or assets like this, right? So, the ability for us to borrow against these assets, have some basic level of like financial infrastructure that we can use. So like I think DeFi, like I don't think DeFi ever dies, right? And then also like I don't think it's as like the average user didn't have his money staked in like restaked Renzo ETH, like and then put into Aave looped. Like these are like sophisticated people that are taking a loss here for the most part, right? They are average people, they are average DeFi participants, but this isn't like, some guy onboarded through Insta app DeFi, easy thing, right? Like, so my actual answer is I don't think anything fucking happens. This happens every couple months and like we forget about it in 2 weeks, right? And everyone just kind of like shrugs off so like in reality, I don't think anything happens, right? In practical and short term right now, like I think DeFi Llama had a tweet. I think he said it was like, I think $15 billion has exited, DeFi in the last couple of days, just like proactively. So in the short term, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of capital that, but then again, give it 4 weeks, yields start going up a little bit. There's some things people want to buy. They want to start lending. They want to start getting some dollars back, right? And like I think it just slowly makes its way kind of back in. I think this is, you ever go on that, like rec.news or the leaderboard of all like the hacks of all time? No, I think this is another fucking war wound that will go on that list. And, I mean, the answer was like, how many times, what changed last time we lost $500 million?
Nothing.
Nothing. Like literally nothing, really. Like nothing. What will change now in practicality is like layer 0 is no longer signing like one-of-one like DVN messages, right? So like, okay, this exact problem, probably doesn't happen again in the future. Like layer 0 is no longer going to allow like them as the sole signer as, any of these messages and systems anymore, right? But even if there's, now it's 2 of 3.
Enter a new problem, right?
Well, it's 2 of the guy, right? It still exists, but you'll solve the base root level of the problem. But no, I don't think anything really changes. I think in reality, everybody kind of, again, because it's not everyone's real, these are the things that you forget about it because like I'm gonna forget about it, you're gonna forget about it because like this wasn't like it wasn't me. But however, right, like did you I don't know if you lost money in like FTX, right? But like I have friends who lost money in FTX that still wake up this morning and say like a prayer and hope Sam Bankman-Fried gets like drone strike this morning. Like they still fucking hate because like they lost money, right? The average person like the FTX hack like lost money and like they still, so they like felt that and they remember that, right? This, none of us really feel that. I mean, I would actually love the number of like how many unique people in these like this wrapped pool lost money, but like it's not me, it's not you, it's not a lot of these guys on like our Twitter feeds, right? It's just like, so we all kind of shrug it off and forget about it because like, well, it wasn't me who lost the money, right? But like when something happens that you lose money in, I'm still about fucking like rugs that I got scammed in like DeFi summer, right? I still think about that, a guy scammed me for 10 grand or whatever. But for the most part, when it doesn't affect the larger participant group of us, we tend to just kind of shrug it off and forget about it, right? And it's reality. It makes sense, right?
I mean, even the FTX thing, I didn't lose money in FTX. There's a very real scenario where I could have. I just didn't use FTX. And I have money on Coinbase. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but like I do have money just on Coinbase. Not all of it, not the majority of it, but I have money just on Coinbase. You know what I mean?
And if $300 million was lost from Coinbase users tomorrow, right? Like this would be something that would be like an FTX X event would have like X long lasting, because like we would all be kind of affected by it and it would suck, right? Rather than, I don't know. I honestly think it was probably 1,000 people maybe that like lost money in this. I don't know what like the unique token holder count is in that, but like,
it's actually a good take. I'm sitting here like wondering why, I'm trying to gauge the severity of the situation. The only thing you can really do is watch the market. ETH doesn't really care. Aave down as expected, but it trades like shit anyways. Layer 0 down, but
down because like me and you see this stuff and we're kind of like, oh, this can't be good for Aave. Maybe I just go slug a short on it, right? Like it's not like, we're not like hedging our risk because we lost money in like Aave's lending mark or whatever. No, it's like mostly just like directional like shit traders that are like, oh, bad news, like go short the asset, right? But yeah, like it doesn't really, and this is the bull take in that there's actually so much fucking slosh of money in this system that like we can lose $300 million and we're kind of like, who does it actually even really affect? Like, who are these guys? I actually don't even know who a lot like, and honestly, who are these guys? Who puts fucking $300 million?
Where did this money come from? Good question. Who are these guys?
Who are you? Why are you?
Who the fuck are you? I agree.
Like sometimes I go look at go on Dex Screener, go pull up like CeeLo chain. It's like it exists. You've never used it in your life. You've never seen it. Go look at the Dex pools. It's like $200 million in these Dex pools. It's just like, who are you that you've put like $75 million into some like mid L2 that like has 300 users and like you just keep $100 million here? I don't know who these people are, right? but it's sure not me. It's sure not any of us. And it's just like, here, who triple restaked their ETH and then like borrowed against it recursively in Aave? Some people, I know some like sophisticated friends who may have done.
I'm not doing that shit.
I'm not doing that shit. And like, and it's not like, a lot of people.
That's actually a good
take,
Tom. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually optimistic.
This is like, it's like, I don't know if they're institutional, if it's like, I think the actual answer might just be like, it's like these like mid funds, like you said, these like mid like liquid funds and stuff. And like, they have like $100 million and they're like, oh, I want to get my 6% yield on ETH, and they put it in here and then they borrow against it and they make some like shit angel investments or whatever. Like, it's just, all I know is this hack happened. I haven't seen a single person on my timeline that's like, fuck, I lost money.
I haven't seen one. No, I haven't seen one. I've seen people saying fuck DeFi. I've not seen one person FTX moment for DeFi. I haven't seen one person say I lost money. Be honest.
Yeah, who lost the money? Who are these people? Right? And why we just kind of forget about it. And it's like nothing really changes. It's like, I don't know. Somebody definitely lost the money. Who are these people? I don't know. And like, this is kind of why things never really get better either, And it's just like, there are some soldiers out there who constantly come back in and put hundreds of millions of dollars into these systems and like kind of take the blunt force of a lot of this, DeFi summer, like this was Alameda. Alameda was like death pooling with like $300 million cash on chain, right? And like you would go sell this yield farm token and you're like, who the fuck put $150 million in this like shitcoin LP pool that launched yesterday? And you look, it's like Alameda. And you're like, oh, they must be like sophisticated and like they know. And to come to find out, no, it was like Caroline and Sam Trabucco that were just like, we'll put some money over here. And like, we sell the shitcoin and we don't really hedge stuff. And like, nobody, they didn't know what they were doing either, right? But ultimately they were the ones that would eat the loss, right? And that all boils down to what was the end result of that was like Alameda blowing up, right? And it's like, oh, these were like the people that are like capitalizing a lot of these very large on-chain pools of money, right? But, the number can be really big and it can be really bad, which is kind of what happened here. Like, in no light is this like a good event, or it's not good for anything either, right? In a broad stroke, I think money leaving the casino isn't good, regardless of if it's your money or if some like.
Of course.
Money leaving is bad, right? But at the same time, it's a lot worse when it's like all of us. It's a lot worse when the group chat gets right. When you like go into Twitter and your GC and everyone's just like, holy shit, I lost money. That like has much worse ramifications across everything, the vibe, the sentiments, and everything. And like this, we're gonna forget about it next week. And that's the nature of the beast right now, right? And some things will change, some security will get better here, there, etc. Right? But the optimistic take is that the active participants around here, like I don't think they're the ones who lost the money, and like I don't think that's going to vibe is a lot. Right, and like I don't think this like kills the vibe, and like is that good? Yeah, it's like it's not going to kill the vibe. FTX.
I'm like, am I even going to cover it today? Like, no one's talking about it. It's over.
It's kind of, and like I don't know. This is the part that gets me. Like, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I really don't. Right? Because
what does that mean exactly?
Part, losing $300 million is like a really like this is a world like this is like a huge thing, right? And we're just kind of like. Does it really matter, right? And like, does it matter? I don't know, right? Because it's like I know it matters when the 5,000 people who actively use all of these apps and products and crypto and stuff lose money because we all get fucking pissed and our sentiment goes bad and we stop trading and we stop making things and we stop trying new things and we stop experimenting. Here it's just like there's a large loss, but like, is it going to change how me or you or anyone reading or any of this, like, is it going to change how we behave tomorrow? Like, it's not going to change how I behave tomorrow, really, and it changes like how I like view long term. I want to like build things in crypto, but tomorrow, like, I'm not going to do fucking anything different in crypto because this event occurred, right? And like, I don't think most people are either. So it's like it's one of these weird, you can just poof $500 million out of the ecosystem, and it's like, who did it affect? Who did it matter? Is it going to change anything? And like in this case, I don't really know if it does, right?
Yeah.
And that's not terribly, it's an interesting thing to cover. It's like it's a big event, but at the same time, like it's kind of feels like shit to say, but it's like doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't really think does it matter? are you gonna like not trade something tomorrow now? Because
I'm looking at my
where the
no
consideration?
money's leaving Hyperliquid. Yeah.
Like, and this stuff actually, I think, makes the good this is like favorable for like a Hyperliquid type thing, because even though Hyperliquid has these like decentralized multisig, right? You look at that now, and even though it is a potential central point of failure, you look at that in comparison to the one of one DVN that Layer 0 was running with all this value, and like it makes the Hyperliquid 2 of 3 multisig look really fucking good,
insane,
right?
right? Yeah.
It makes it look like, oh, these guys like know what they're doing, and like functionally it's still not great, right? But it actually does, really, like the shills will say it, right? They're like, like the team is great, and like they like put the care into like the table, and it's like you don't really see that until you put it side by side with something that's really shit.
Yeah,
And,
fair,
like,
right?
it's like, like Hyperliquid is like the least of my,
What is that? Chrysler
like,
3000 looks like a phantom till a phantom pulls up.
What? Sorry? Oh yeah, Chrysler 3000. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it pulls out, you're kind of like, oh, actually, like, yeah, okay, maybe you're like a used 2009 Rolls Royce Ghost, right? Still, can I tell the difference between a 2009 Ghost and a brand new one? Not really, until you sit inside,
See it side
right?
by side, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so, I like Hyperliquid, I think, like, is one of the best bad implementations of like security that we have today. And like that's like a really good thing.
It's a good thing.
My summary with like, all of it is like I used to literally have a sign on my wall, and the outside was everything's a scam. Like everything here is just a scam, and like the best things put a bunch of extra stuff on top of it to like kind of confuse you and like distract you along the way from it just being a scam underneath it, right? Like the only thing that's like actually really decentralized is Bitcoin, like functionally speaking, right? Everything else you boil it all down and like there's just like security centralization risk and everything, right? Kind of like except for Bitcoin, give or take. And like some of it shows more than others, and then but anytime this stuff happens, I'm just kind of like, are you surprised? Like, not really, right? Like we all like literally everything is kind of everything, right? Even with Ethereum, like you can kind of pull together all the validators today. Solana, they're all in a goddamn Slack chat together, and like even Ethereum, right? It's like decentralized. Like, if we needed to get all the main validators together, like we could probably do it in 20 minutes. Like everything's kind of a scam, like I don't know. This is a long, and it's only solved by crypto surviving like forever, right? Like Bitcoin was a scam until we all woke up one day and it was kind of like, oh, like the United States government couldn't shut down Bitcoin even if they wanted to. Like they just like couldn't. It's like beyond its control, it's run, it's penetrated the world so deeply that like you can't stop this thing, right? And that only happens by Bitcoin just like existing for 10 years and like not dying, right? And that's what will happen with the Ethereum, Solana, some of the other ones that persist and survive, right? Like, you win by just like not dying over time, but you have to not die in that process essentially. And in that meantime, it's like all kind of a fucking scam still today, right? Like if somebody really fucking cares and has billions of dollars, they could crush like almost any of these crypto products out of existence, right? Even Ethereum, Solana, whatever, right? Like all these things, like you have nothing is, and this is like the round loop. And like I'm not there yet, but I still think about it occasionally. It comes up more in my mind every day of everything just like leads back to you being a Bitcoin maximalist at the end of the day. At some point in all of our careers, I think we all just go back to being Bitcoin maximalists. Because you steal this stuff, and you're like, what are we doing here, man? What? There's a fucking key that controlled 300. Like, what is this shit? Like, why did this exist? Why are we doing this? And you're like, oh, actually, Bitcoin doesn't do anything, and that's what I like about it. That's what I love. It does fucking nothing, But that's what makes it good, right? Like, North Korea can't come in and like mint a bunch of fake Bitcoins. Now, that makes Bitcoin kind of fucking useless. there's no hyperliquid for Bitcoin, right? But at the same time, like it's like safe and secure and like it means something. And I think this is what they say, all roads lead back to at some point of our lives being Bitcoin maximalists, which is a terrifying thought because I really don't wish that upon myself. But, at some point, I think we will make a new generation of Bitcoin maxis. It's gonna take a while. It took those Bitcoin maximalists 10 years, right? But it's also terrifying because these Bitcoin maximalists are some of the
They're retarded.
They're the worst people I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, they're just like, the vibe isn't there. It's just like a shit group of people, man, right? You want to be like Jimmy Song on Twitter, like, oh my God, right? Like, it's just these people aren't. These people, yeah, like these people are just no.
Luke Dash or permanent underclass. Put me in a trailer, brother.
Like, yeah, and then but the weird thing is like, yeah, he's Luke Dash Jr., right? He's like a Bitcoin core dev, right? Like he has but yeah, at the same time, if you were to ask, like, yeah, you want to be Luke Jr., or like you want to no, never, like never, absolutely not. Yeah, I don't know. This is it's one of these times that I think that will kind of, if you like really sit and you you'll think about this for the next week or whatever, right? It'll at some point enough of these things build up. And these are the events that help anyone who like seriously works and considers a bunch of like crypto and all this stuff is like their career and profession. These are the events that help like mold and create your long-term like theses on, like, for lack of a better term, the tech, right?
Yes.
You'll see enough of these, and in the long run, this will shape your view of how you view the value of decentralization, security, where you place your assets on chain, stuff like this, right? And it's like, this shapes how you think of that in the long run. And it takes a lot of these kind of things to, I think, get people to like a good end conclusion of where it's a personal thing, is where you feel comfortable with, right? But, does it affect you? No. In the long run, when you see 15 of these, at some point, this is what gives you your opinion on, like security and decentralization and the value of all of this, right? And who knows, at some point you might have like $500 million in some lending protocol because you got like super on-chain rich, right? And then like the values of this stuff are different to you than they are of like the pump fund shitcoin trader, right?
Yeah.
You suddenly care about the security of like the oracle of the lending markets and stuff. But so I think if you care about it, this is, it's a good learning type thing, and it's good. It's good to understand what happened here, right? I think for all of it, it's good to understand what happened, but at the same time, forget about it. It's not really going to affect anything, and we're all going to forget about it next week.
Honestly, Tom, that was the most beautiful closure of all time. That was, I agree with you, by the way. All roads do lead to Bitcoin. I got to this at the end of 2025, and I was just so sick of like the game that I loved turning into just a disaster with the meme coin stuff. I'm like, what am I doing? This is just like the worst. I hate this. And so you full port Bitcoin, pay some of it in taxes, keep what you can, buy more when you can, and fucking get on a podcast and call it a day, right?
That's like, yeah, it's like, this is like second or third generation of most people is like, you come to that conclusion. And it's kind of, I think exactly what you did here was you were like, actually, the best way for me to like accomplish what I want to accomplish is hold some assets that essentially I believe aren't going to go to fucking zero, which is like, the whole Bitcoin, and kind of forget about it. And then you have expertise in this field and vertical now. And instead of like, you don't trade your way to $1 billion, right? Like you have to like make and build and do something, have a bunch of equity in it, and like build that project or that thing instead, right? So like at some point it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm sick of getting rugged. I'm just gonna like hold Bitcoin and like try to build something and build equity, and then like maybe someday I can sell this to somebody for billions of dollars, right? And like that's the road you eventually, I think everyone kind of makes its way and gets to. And I think, I mean, this is how the traditional world works too, right? Like you're not going to trade your way to your big dollars.
Not to
right?
bees. Not to bees.
No, you're really not. Actually, I don't think I've ever really met anyone who's traded their way even to like hundreds of millions. Like that's like even
tough. Unless you were fucking buying $10,000 of Bitcoin and a couple $100.
Yeah, if you bought and forgot, yeah, it happens, right? But like, you ever meet someone who's like, I made $300 million trading on Hyperliquid
Yeah,
this
like
year?
long, short, intraday. No.
Like, not really, no. Just like don't
Not
lose your
like
money
that.
and like survive. That's kind of the MO of and do something where you're creating value, in something that you own, right? And that's like what this is for you. This is like you have a startup, you have anything, right? It's just like
You're my guy.
that's the best use of your time. It's not. It's no longer like pump funding 24/7. It's
There's
do
time
this,
and
build
place,
this.
Tom,
Joe
you're the
Rogan.
fucking goat, bro. You're like our resident. I guess you're the resident hack guy now. I think moving forward.
I mean, it's sometimes I care, sometimes I don't. This one was like Bridget related, so I was like, okay, I gotta like through and Actually, what was the fuck? I had such a good. I saw a TikTok yesterday and I had a really good analogy of like how did this came through and it was. I was like, oh, there was a really good analogy of what happened here using some shit video. I can't remember.
Hey, what's
I
up with
know,
your
but I
voice?
remember.
How are you? It's insane.
Well, you said this last time. What's my
I know,
voice?
it's nuts. The chat wants to talk about your voice. Do you do like speaking gigs or commentating or anything?
Nope. I have no. I've done nothing.
It's incredible.
That's what. No, I've literally done nothing. And no, what? I've no. It's weird too because you're like the third or fourth person to maybe say, or people have said that in like the last couple years. I don't know what. I mean, I'm like 30. Maybe I just like hit puberty and my voice dropped finally.
I fucking love it though, Tom. I can listen to it all day. I'll tell you what. Our resident hack debunker, Tom. This was sick. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for your time. Thanks for staying for a while, dropping some fucking gems on us, and we appreciate you, dude.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Let me know if I can ever shit talk. But yeah, thanks,
You're always
bro.
welcome. We'll do it again at some point. Hopefully not super soon in the case of the hack, but hopefully soon in the case of W Guest. You're the man, dude.
Later, bro.
All right, peace out, man. Peace. I fucking love that guy. Oh, wait, I want to find you TikTok. How good is he? Thomas Kraken.
My coworker is cute.
Wait. C-O-Y. See if I can find this TikTok. Wait, what's the quote? It's like I said it. A Chrysler 2000 looks like a Rolls Royce. Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom till a Phantom pulls up. What is it? Eli's good looks. Here it is. Here it is. Damn, I'm on Facebook Shorts.
Chrysler 300.
I think this is it.
Be happy you got a Chrysler 300. Stop walking around talking shit, talking about, nigga, I got it because it looked just like a Phantom. No, nigga. It looked like a Chrysler 300. The fucked up part is it do look like a Phantom until a Phantom pull up.
That's that security, huh?
This is bullshit. I don't even want to be on this street, nigga. I don't even want.
Damn. At least he said Hyperliquid is safe, bro. That would be the end all, fuck all, be all, done all. They had me on YouTube Shorts all. Looks legit in Rasmer follow. I'm in. Oh my god.
Hey guys, it's Angel Cersei, and I'm so proud to announce that I'm officially partnered with Terminal. If you've never heard of me before, here's a little bit about me. I started off by playing video games such as Call of Duty and Fortnite on stream, and then I ended up making my way into the day trading community. But up until recently, I saw an opportunity in meme coins and crypto to grow my personal brand, and I decided to take the next step. If you too are interested in getting
The headlines in the background.
Getting into meme coin trading, you can click the link in my bio, which will give you a 35% cash back if you use the code ANGELC. And for the people who want to make a little bit of
How much percent?
which will give you a 35%.
I might have to try it just for the cash back. That's a lot of cash back. I might have to use a link just for the cash back. I mean, just for the... That's a lot of cash back.
Cash back if you use the code ANGELC. And for the people who want to make a little bit of extra cash off of me, there's a $10,000 prize pool which is up for grabs right now if you clip from me using Upside Media's Discord server to submit clips. Thank you guys so much for supporting me throughout this journey, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Hey guys!
Luke, can you figure out how to download Steam on my computer again? Can you download Steam on my computer when we get off? Oh, how much do you think she can pay for the video? I have a good question. I don't think that much. I don't know. How much do you think? She would be getting threadguy replies on day one. I kind of was just trolling, like, so I could do a stream bit, but I feel like I should delete it now. I don't think very much. I mean, I can't imagine, right? Bro, putting her on. Bro, you replied first, by the way. The new Gooner signal is, like, followed by Rasmer. It's just, like, pure goon every single time. Followed by Rasmer is just, like, GG's. TG tricking on it? Come on, bro. What are you talking about? Tricking on it is crazy. That's that's too far, dog. That's too far. Whoever said that in the chat is way too far. What's your Solana address? Dude, that was a thing, by the way. What an era, man. The new heads don't even know. The new gen doesn't even know about what's your Solana address. That was I DM'd her to stream DNAP mode. I had some other topics we were going to cover, but I don't really feel like talking about them, to be completely honest. I kind of think I'm just going to save them. We kind of were talking about on-chain. We did the whole DeFi hack, which, by the way, I kind of like his take, which is like, name one person that got affected by RS, double restaked, triple lended against ETH on Aave. Is like, I don't think anybody... does anyone have a tweet of somebody losing money? Justin Sun, yeah. Really sophisticated actors. I don't think that anybody super normal lost a lot of money on that, which is actually a good take. He is a banker guest. He's a rare pull. This is one of the best in the world at curation of smart people. It's one of the best in the world at. Not many other things. But I am the best in the world at that. You said they wouldn't say if they did. I think you would say if you would pound the alarms if you lost money on this. Let's see how we're looking. Actually, how's Aave? Kind of makes me feel like Aave is like, I don't know. Like, am I buying Aave? No, but like, I don't know. To me, they're not really responsible. This is more of a layer 0 problem than an Aave problem, at least from what I deducted. Bob, how are you paying your employees from stream when you have 170 viewers? There's like 3 people in here that are worth 9 figures, and so the average viewer is worth like $10 million, and so that's how we support the company. Wouldn't tell my worst enemy to build Aave even before the hack. Yeah, I mean, I don't touch this shit, but Aave and then layer 0 is what? Looks like fine, I guess. It's crazy that not that long ago, there was this crazy layer 0 pump. Remember this? This was the hottest token. Everybody's talking. Evans wrote the article. This was like a, what? Like a 100. Yeah, it's like a clean 2x off of it. From that top wick, it's down how much? Probably a lot. How much? It's on like 35-ish%. Yeah, how do you pull 10s when you're a 6? You just fucking... I mean, I wouldn't know that. The 6s part. But I have seen it happen. I think I'm going to save everything else I want to talk about. I guess the one topic where there was sort of a mega church trade is this just happened. Let's watch this real quick. There was this Joe Rogan, long Ave. No way. I'm not anything. I'm just in cash and spot BTC. Trump's executive order to fast track psychedelic research and access for addiction, PTSD, and veterans' mental health after Rogan texts him stunning 80 to 90% remission data. Crazy. He just fucking has Trump's number like that and just texts him to get these fucking.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses.
That's a lot.
It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With
like, he is really short.
One dose of
how much money do you think he had in this these stocks?
Of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now. Thanks to all these people that we see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
You think Joe printed on these longs or no?
I want to thank Joe Rogan for helping bring national attention to innovative, potentially life-saving.
He did seem nervous.
Treatments for veterans and others living with mental illness, and for pushing this conversation into the mainstream.
I believe that the executive order has potential to transform the psychedelic industry. This is the guy who runs the super, what do you call them? Enhanced games. Looking specifically at ATAI, we'll look at the stock in a second. The company I founded and chair, I believe it has the broadest pipeline in the space. In later stage clinical trials, positioning to fully capitalize on any simplification around trial size, timelines, and speed approval. I also believe that ATAI's deep early stage pipeline could potentially benefit even more from these improvements. I mean, this was an obvious rip mega church ad trade. You probably gotta, let's see. ATAI. I don't know. It happened before market opened, and then I feel like afraid. It cured one of my friend's addictions, really fucked it all better. This is a 22%er. How's the long-term trend on this look? I mean, this probably just goes up only for a while. It's a sick trade. I don't understand the business exactly. Doesn't TG work for someone? Yeah, I work for Malcolm. And our incredible sponsors, of course. I don't really know what this is. Let me read it. Ibogaine. Check CMPS. Whoa, my God. Yeah, but there's obviously some fucking money to be made here. Ibogaine is a psychoactive compound derived from the African, showing significant promise in treating opiate addiction, PTSD, and traumatic brain injury by reducing withdrawal and cravings. By 2026. Damn. It acts as a hallucinogen that can induce a profound 18 to 36 hours. Damn, 36 hours? 36-hour trip? Oh, that's like sounds miserable, dude. Some research actually can help rewire the brain. It's not for the faint of heart and cause dangerous cardio. Holy God. Schedule 1 substance. So it's illegal up until now. I can't even read that. Padley, 1K. Thanks for the gifted, brother. Bro, a 36. Thanks for the gifted. I appreciate you, dude. A 36-hour trip. I want to watch that video, but I want to watch like a short one. Wait, let me do it on TikTok. That seems in 36 hours. Bro, I trip for 4
My
hours.
coworkers
and
keep
you,
saying I need to make it like.
It's like hell. And there's just not very many good. Wait.
I tried a African plant medicine called ibogaine.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And I did it, and I've done a lot of drugs in my life. And when I did that drug, it was so strong, I was just wishing that it would turn off. Like, oh, please, shit, stop. Because I heard when they took it, they said that, you know, my African ancestors used it to revisit their loved ones that are no longer here. But after further testing it, they found out that it heals anxiety, PTSD, depression, and addiction. So when I heard that, I was like, I gotta try it. But you can, it's illegal here in the States. You only could, so I had to go to Mexico to try it and have it. That shit was strong as a motherfucker, though.
What was the vision you had during it? I've heard that people have a very vivid like trip or vision.
Yeah, well, they said that the first person that you probably see come to visit you, probably the person in your family who you know, have the dearest feelings for. And it's crazy because the first person I can remember seeing was a big picture, like big as that light right there. And it was a vision of my cousin Sierra, who I helped raise with my grandmother. Then I got to see my son again, like at the age of age he passed away at, like 6, 12, and then the age he would have been in, the time was like 14, 15. I kept hearing my mother's voice and my grandmother's voice and woke up a new man. I tried.
Jeez.
First move as the executive was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
T-Pain, we talking about? That was a joke, right? Why did I believe that and search that T-Pain lost money on Ave? Why did I search that? What? Why did I look that up? What are you talking about? Why did I try to find that tweet? What? I'm getting off stream, bro. I'm done. Oh, I'm getting off. I gotta go. It's almost at 3 hours. I was on a fucking interview before this. It was a long one. It was a good one. It was a fun one. We have a lot to talk about tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about tomorrow. If you're new, up live every day at 3:30 p.m. EST. I'm about to go to the gym. I'm about to lift. I'm about to get my face in. I'm a fucking freak in the gym. I'm about to freak. I'm about to do a little whatever. I'm about to watch some basketball. I'm about to go watch the Cavs. I'm a Cavs fan. Go Cavs. Shout out Darius Garland, even though he's in LA. Shout out Donovan Mitchell. I'm rocking with the Cavs and the Lakers. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll be here tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. EST. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to cover. We hit all the DeFi stuff. Now we're going to hit all the other stuff. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. I love you, motherfuckers. I'm out of here.